this point. Um, Henry, you should hop in the link now from your phone, and then
Yeah,
fucking or from the studio phone,
yeah, yep,
and
yep,
then
yep, yep.
and
You can
then.
probably hear my boy.
All right, all right, all right. It's Snowball and here the outputs here. I'm gonna take the headset unless you think you need it, but I don't think you do.
What's the output?
Here, the
Oh, okay.
speakers.
It's not gonna cause resonance.
It's Snowball. Unless you got, you just keep it muted.
The YouTube page.
Yeah, just keep the YouTube page muted. You're over here with the shit.
All right.
You can clearly see that you can be heard.
Yeah.
Um, all right, and then we're gonna hop in. Let this little fucking puss Henry hop in. Let me see if his enough time come through. What is this? It's my
Yeah,
shit.
this is 9, I think. Last one I see is 10.
Is this mine?
Yeah.
All right, well, change the caption.
The last one I see is 8.
Oh, but no, we didn't name diamonds that, remember?
No, I know. Yeah, it says
So
diamonds feet.
only
Only feet with diamond. Was that a 9 though?
there's a few more things like YouTube will let us put the so we have to clip out and YouTube will automatically do it. It's just not bad.
What?
Some artists just they're letting it just be monetized.
Mm-hmm.
Some artists your videos flop.
Depends on what the what maybe you need.
Or strikes you to see it, it'll let you click on it. It's just anytime you can see it. Like you'll see.
Did anybody take that list down? Alright, cool. You know what I was also thinking about doing? I want to do this series, right? Just, we recap hip hop from 2010 to 2020. It's just straight up segments, right? So you know, take each year, you have to do each 2010 you put a little sticker warm up. Yes.
People could typically know that oil.
Exactly.
Oh,
You could actually do that with Henry right now. I just have to grab a couple. You can turn it upstairs.
I need to get his keys. I was like, 8 o'clock. Yeah. What's up? The Godwin's coming.
Yo, for the viewers, for the listeners, we're gonna be it. Hey, Bruce, we're not in just yet. I'm about to hop in from the car. Ide is in right now. I'm just gonna share some of our last week content until this guy's ready. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, I'm gonna share some the content we did, the only feed episode we did with Diamond until Ide's ready. So when he come in, if we're not in, you just tell him what's going on.
All right.
All right, yeah, he's in the building. He's just upstairs.
All right.
Let me know if you can hear it too.
But the question
Yeah, I
is,
can hear.
okay, drinking every day is probably still not, I wouldn't say alcoholic, because if you're just drinking like a beer or two, like what's the amount every day?
It depends on the day.
Really separate great artists from that.
Because there's so many different avenues of how this could go. Like there's so many different types of dudes that have money, and there's so many different types of
I got a
relationships.
question for you. I got a question for you. So
Yeah.
it's okay to want those things. I agree. Like we all want, but do you think like because a lot of these females, and you give me insight on this.
Well, let me make sure we're in gallery view. Somebody told me we don't be in gallery view. Okay, I got us in gallery view now.
Right? Because like, this guy basically saying like, hey, you want these things, but you know, these dudes don't want you for a reason, you know. And I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. I mean, it's just a lot of different factors, right, that go into it. But the day, it's kind of like you want who you want.
All right.
But
Well, yeah,
Screen
you can want things, but you deserve those things. Or have you earned those things.
and you could also feel like you deserve those things and get rejected. I mean, I could feel like I deserve the greatest love story on earth, and I could end up never getting that. Like, but that's because I feel like, well, this is my worth and what I feel like my worth is. Like, I shouldn't settle for any less. So I think, in a certain sense, when people are looking at, I want somebody at this level, I don't even think they're looking at it like, because I made it to that level. It's like, well, I want somebody here because I want the person who's here to treat me the way I feel like I'm going to be treated, because that's where they're at. But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying too. I get what you're saying, like, well, why? But that's the thing. There's a lot of men that are up here and they don't care where she's at. There's a lot of men.
This is one of the things that he talks about a lot, Diamond, that you brought up. This is one of the, and a lot of women are like, oh, I make X amount of money, and one of the things that he continuously explains to women is men don't care how much money women make or what their level of education is.
Right. Because it goes back to our like what are the like our primal instincts, where it's like the nurturing and what's the word I'm looking for? Like the
women want providers.
Hunter gatherer, whatever. Like men, I don't know if it's in their DNA to naturally say like, I'm looking for a woman to take care of me, you know? So they're not even thinking about how she's gonna take care of me. Can she afford me? They're like, wait, I gotta get my shit together to take care of her. I've heard so many men tell me that they will not commit because they feel like they just don't have enough money, or they won't even like be in any type of relationship because they don't feel like they have enough money. I've never thought to myself, I'm not gonna be with a guy right now because I'm broke. I've never had that thought.
Yeah, but that's also the luxury of being a woman in a capitalistic world.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying.
Your value is not determined by money, but for a man in this world, our value is determined by our ability to provide. You see what I'm saying? How many guys have you liked, but you just, you know, you were attracted to them, but you couldn't be with them because you know they ain't shit niggas, or they're just broke ass, ambitionless niggas.
See, I took me some years to learn to actually have certain standards when it came to men and like what they were providing, because I was definitely putting up with whatever at a certain point. And then I got to a point where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna start having standards for certain things, you know, because it was like, why shouldn't I get nice things? And I don't mean presents. I just meant like, why shouldn't I feel like somebody could take me on a date and not ask me to like go 50-50? Like, why shouldn't I have a guy that tells me like, absolutely not, like, don't even touch it? And he really means it. Not the like fake don't touch it, like that actually means it, don't touch it.
What is a fair compromise? Because realistically, I'm not in the dating world, but if I was, I understand paying the bill. Do you think that it would be fair to be like, okay, I take care of the bill, you take the tip?
Look, the thing is, all that stuff, it could be fine between two people that just come to that agreement. It's all dependent on the vibe that the two people have, because no case, not every case. I could date somebody and really start liking him and have such a good time, and then I become such a giver, and then I genuinely do want to take the whole bill sometimes. Or, oh yeah, I'll be like, yeah, I got this, or I got that, or I randomly want to buy you a gift. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just depends. But I think the important thing is that beginning stage when you're courting. I don't know if it sounds very like anti-feminism, but it's a preference for me. My preference is for a guy to wine and dine and like show me.
You want to be courted.
Yeah, like show me you're okay with doing that. Don't act stingy all like from day one. At that point, I'm gonna be like, oh, you couldn't even like pay for the first date. Like, what is that?
So in your group chat with the girls, you be calling them like, this broke boy.
Matt.
Oh yeah.
Yo,
well,
Bruce.
I would say,
What's up, Matt? What's going on?
Because all my friends,
Behar, you're muted.
If he does not do this, and that on day one,
hey, Brewski, appreciate that logo you made.
I'm the one that be like,
oh yeah,
maybe
no problem, my boy.
Okay, so I'm really glad. Behar, you are muted, man. If he doesn't, you unmute yourself the date, right? If he don't do X, Y, and Z, then he don't qualify. Boom, there we go. Now you're unmuted. What's the word, Behar? All those things. Women ever think.
Huge Microsoft, Bruce.
His qualifications are, I need them cheeks.
What's
or
up,
that
man?
Bro, something like that. So, it's like, if she don't give you these cheeks or at least some of that throat, then she don't qualify for the second episode.
That's okay, because guess what? I got my free meal and you didn't get the cheeks.
All right, so we definitely need Ice to come downstairs so that he can
Diamond.
end the screen share.
I was talking about it earlier too, and he mentioned.
I don't want Matt to talk about, the deal we just did or the Kangen before I ends the screen share.
And whether we like it or not, we're always in competition with other men, like even subconsciously. There's an issue I've had for like years, years I've had this issue where it's like,
real niggas,
is like they want you to do all this extra shit, but I know like dudes have gotten them cheeks for free, or it's just like for less. And it's like, why am I gonna do all this extra shit when you have, because like you said, like something we dealt with ancient people. And it's just fucked up because really you shouldn't even think like that. But that's how I like, oh no.
No, because I'll correct what I mean though. I'll correct what I mean.
No. I wasn't meaning. I was asking for myself personally.
Yeah.
That was Henry trying to shoot his shot right there.
No, bro, I'm just explaining how it be. Like, for real, bro.
Yeah. It's like a new, okay, so first of all, some things could have happened. It could have been, like I said, like I might have put up with some things in the past, and I might have been insecure in my early 20s, and I might have let like
Now we
stuff
was
that I'll
high off the
never let
dab
happen
too, Bruce. So I was
Man,
back
I
then.
was
Or
in
I might have
fucking out of
put up with
space that day, bro.
enough bullshit, and then
yeah,
eventually
bro.
And I
That day
had
was
took
out of
like
space,
2
man.
now on,
painkillers.
it's gonna be like this,
Yeah,
strict
yeah, true.
rules. That's it. I'm
But
not
so tooth,
settling
yeah,
for
toothache
any
and shit, right?
less than
Yeah,
Yeah.
my
my
worth,
tooth
and I'm
was
not
fucking
going through
me
that
up.
again. Like I really genuinely believe that's what most women end up doing. I wouldn't say nobody does this, because there are people who genuinely are just like, yeah, I want money. It's because I want all your money and give me all your money. And like we've heard it in every song. We never see
Damn.
that's just like the culture right now. Like it's like get him for all he's got. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, what was it? Like the Cardi B scandal. She was
It's
talking
hard
about
out
drugs.
here for people like me. Hard. You know, 'cause I'm not doing none of that. Tough out here.
And that's the thing. Okay, so that's where it becomes
I
an
don't
issue.
even be thinking
I
every
think
son of
that
that. It's like it's easy to be
I think
real,
there
but
is some
it's
kind
like
of middle
it
ground
just
where both
sounds
sides
like
can win. And
Mr.
I
Real
really
Daniel.
think that it just
It just
depends
sounds
on
like I'm
the
being
people.
like
If I
petty.
saw that a man was working hard and he was putting in effort to like show me that he was genuinely interested in me, he doesn't need to buy me a Louis Vuitton. He just needs to, whatever is at his level, show me his like, I don't know, interest
So
in me enough.
edible arrangements is acceptable.
Yeah, like that would be really sweet. Like if I really like this person and he's putting in an effort, and I'm not saying every day give me a gift or something, but when you're courting me, you know, show it. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm like that.
That's
Like
been
if
my issue. One of my
Not just
issues
say it,
was like
right?
before I ever do anything like that type of you have to know that you fuck with me for me first. That's always my issue. It's like
So the controls are in the studio. I'd got control, or the studio has control. Ide and David are in the studio, but they're upstairs fucking talking and shooting the shit instead of, sending to the live stream or responding to the chats that I'm telling them to do it.
and it's
Right.
So I'm definitely gonna talk shit to them when they eventually make their way to the live
that's
stream.
why
So until that time, which should be ideally within the next couple of minutes, we're just gonna be back on Diamond's conversation. Well, the conversation we were having with Diamond over Saturday last week.
for you or for
Right.
that. So that's why, I mean, this is how I've been for years. Like my frame of thought has been the same way for like 7, 8 years now. It's just I just been more, I think, more mature about it now. I'm more mature about it.
Yeah.
I'm direct of what I want. I tell what it is. But before I was, it was more of an emotional standpoint back then. Where now it's more just of a logical standpoint. It's like I want for my own self, I want to know that they fuck with me first. And then it's hard out here when the culture, like you said, is, spend that bag, or take this
Right.
dude's bag type of thing. And you're competing with, you're talking to females you're competing with their dudes are just throwing bread at these females and
right.
so it's tough out here. People
And
like
that's the thing. Like I think that I think the easiest way to start off is just like really small things like dinner. Like you guys go to dinner and you pay for the bill. That's it. It doesn't have to be buying gifts, like physical gifts all the time. And I don't know if maybe even that is too much, that you're thinking like even that is.
What's up with dollar? No, I'm just playing. I mean, I guess it depends. It all depends, like I said. But usually, I mean, because you'll do stuff like that, but you'll probably be in talks with someone for a little while before you even do that, So
Yeah.
you can kind of
We good?
All right, yeah. Make sure we're in gallery view. I think Terrell from FNO said that the last few live streams it was focused on the speaker in the upper right hand corner of Zoom. Like it should let you pick between what view you use.
It's in gallery view. It's good.
All right, cool. Yeah. So. All right, guys. This is another Real Talk Chicago weekly live stream. As you guys can see, this episode is called The Stimmies Make Yeezy Jump Over the Jumpman. This is when we need a drop right now so we can have a round of applause and congratulations so that we can say congratulations to Kanye, Chicago legend, Kanye West. And look, guys, what do you guys think about the fact? As a matter of fact, when you get a chance, pull up the artwork that Bruce did, the cover art that Bruce did, the picture of Kanye we posted. It was our second to last Instagram post. Shout out to Bruce for whipping that up. If you could share that. No, not that one. The one right before it. Yeah, this one right here. That's something that Bruce did. And as you guys can see, Kanye has now become the richest black person in U.S. history.
That's wild.
Right, 6.6 billion. Michael Jordan is number 4. I believe Oprah's number 3. And then this black dude who's like a business mogul is number 2. Kanye is now number 1. Richest black man in U.S. history. Any comments on that, guys?
Man, clap for him. Nothing to say. Man's doing what the fuck he wants to do. There's no stopping him.
Yeah, that's definitely a hand clap. Just to think about it, a black kid from the south side of Chicago being the richest black person in U.S. history.
That's crazy.
Well, that shit is like, you got to let that sit. You got to let that soak in for a minute. I mean, shit, that's motivation.
It absolutely is. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say, man. This guy's just gone absolutely insane over the last couple of years, and as much trash as people want to talk about him, as much crazy as people want to call him and whatnot, none of that shit matters, because at the end of the day, none of them are the richest black people and the richest black person in U.S. history. At a certain point, Kanye I'm sure he came to the conclusion long ago, fuck everybody else's opinion, but at this point, he's so extremely vindicated and feeling that way.
Thrive off it, man. I don't know if you just been on the west side recently, but literally all you see on people's feet are either Jordans or Yeezys. Like literally, bro. There's no other shoes being worn. Like,
yeah, he's definitely taking that lane up too. Right where Mike might have been alone, you know what I'm saying? Like he came in and followed right up and now surpassed, you know. So definitely congrats to the man. Yay.
So was it the deal he made with Gap that gave him this leap?
Yeah, that was a huge part of it, right?
But the majority is his Yeezy brand. Like the majority of his wealth is his Yeezy brand.
Right, because he even says himself that the music makes him the least out of all of his endeavors, right?
Yeah, we know that. Musicians don't get paid well.
Well, no, hold on now. That's subjective, right? Because compared to what we all make, Kanye gets paid extremely well to do a show. But that's also not the average artist.
Yeah. I mean, the majority of the money they make is tour, right? But like, I'm talking about strictly just the music.
Right.
Yeah.
Artists don't get paid that well. It's difficult for them to protect their intellectual property. There's so much bullshit that goes into being an artist today. But at its core, like Bruce said.
Yeah, Kanye's definitely fighting right now too. Like he's been fighting for his publishing back. He can't get it back. They told him a certain number, I guess, and then he was like, "Okay, I'll pay that number." And then they were like, "Oh, that's no longer the number." So,
which I feel like is bullshit, and why you should be able to just get everything. It's hard, man. That makes it difficult to even deal with the paperwork from the beginning. But before we delve too much into that, because I know when Vino and Darrell eventually hop on, in late fashion as they usually do, they're gonna want to talk about this again. And while we got Matt on the combo, Matt's driving, so he ain't gonna be looking directly into the podcast. If you could go to the YouTube page and find the episode that me and Matt did. I think it was back in November we released, or possibly we might have released it this 2021. It might have been the first podcast of 2021, but we recorded back in November. It was actually an episode that we did for all of our people that are into holistic healing, all of our people that are into health, our fitness friends. people who just give a shit that they put fluoride and heavy metals in our water. Matt is the man that came through to teach the Mogul Minds listeners about alkaline water and the different pH levels in your water, and how to electrify your water and eMagic as a whole. Matt, if you could just tell people a little bit about that and what we were able to accomplish today.
You were saying about like what we did today?
Well, yeah, if you could just tell people, you know, the elevator pitch about Kangen water.
Oh, yeah, that the water that Isaiah talked about, it came from a certified medical device that most Japanese hospitals and businesses use for over 4 decades.
Hey, Matt, you gotta close Matt. Hey, Matt, you're gonna have to close your car windows. It sounds like there's a lot of wind.
Oh, that's maybe me.
All my car windows are closed.
It might be the vibration if you got your phone on a holder, but yeah, it's causing a lot of feedback.
Can everybody hear?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay, so I'll start over again. So the alkaline water that Isaiah was talking about, it comes from a medical device that most Japanese hospitals and businesses used for over 4 decades. And it's not just even in just Japan as well, even worldwide.
Hey, Matt, if you could name a couple of celebrities that have proven and talked about it publicly.
It's illegal in some places.
In particular, Tom Brady from the now Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and even rap artist Big Sean, to name a couple off the surface.
Big Sean, and what I'd have showing on the screen here is an episode we did a couple of months ago. It's called "You Won't Believe What's in Your Drinking Water." If you could fast forward to like the last 2 or 3 minutes, it shows when Matt is actually in the middle of actually showing the pH levels by using a tester. He did this entire demo in front of me. You can actually go to the Mogul Minds Network page. Just the last, boom, right there. Hit play on that. And the color lets you know. You can mute it. We don't need to hear that. We can talk. Matt can talk through that.
Yep,
you can
mute it a little bit
closer.
Oh yeah, that's water.
So Matt, explain to the people what's going on here.
So what I did there is I did pH tested bottled alkaline water. It depends on how that's made, whether it's natural or chemical. And with what I did with that straw test, because our breath is that's carbon dioxide breathing out. And
so the pH levels for people that would like to know should be as close to dark purple as possible. And Matt was testing store-bought so-called alkaline water. And as you can easily see,
that's common water from the machine, and it still stays purple. That's legit, and doesn't turn acidic for a long time.
Right. So Matt tested a couple of different liquids. As you guys can see in the video, he had everything from Dasani, Pellegrino to I think either Sprite or 7-Up, Gatorade. He had all of these up there. And you guys would be surprised how non-alkaline even the alkaline water is, or the store-bought alkaline water that you'll see in the grocery stores.
Wow.
Yeah. If you were, because some labels came on alkaline water can be deceiving, and the proof's it's, how am I gonna word this? Sorry, I've hit a mental block there. Because our breath is acidic. Once if you were drinking bottled alkaline water, it does turn acidic easily. But if it doesn't,
I think what you're trying to say is right. Because we're breathing out the carbon dioxide, and a lot of our states that we're currently in is alkalized. When you're blowing into the water, we're kind of blowing. We're blowing essentially what we're blowing out would make the alkaline water less alkaline, which is why you would see the store-bought alkaline water originally start off as light purple, but then it completely changes colors. But when you do it with the but when you do it with the actual Enagic machine or the Kangen water machine, it didn't change no matter how much you blew into it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was crazy. That one stayed purple. That's crazy.
Right, and Edwin's actually on the line now too with a few other people, and we're definitely going to get into a few other things. But between Edwin and Matt and their partnership with Enagic, both I and another friend of the network, Ken, were able to secure us this medical device. Right?
I got mine too.
Did you?
Yeah, I got his too.
I wanted one too. Like I did not expect that. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I didn't even know that I came in and got one.
Yep. Right place, right time.
I want one too, but I don't got the bread for that.
Damn.
So you don't gotta pay it all up front. Luckily, they do work with people. There is a little down payment, but then after that, they finance. But that's that's a different conversation for off podcast.
Hey, Isaiah, while you're on the money, it's so worth it. Just think about what you put in is what you get, right? So water being the most important. Why are you not ready to invest in water? You invest in everything else, but you can't put a few racks or the shit that you drink every day.
As a matter of fact, Picasso, you about to drink this fluoride, knowing that it's the white man's poison.
Oh hell no! I don't drink no fluoride water. No. Stop.
Hey. No, I just thought it was funny to say white man's poison to a white guy. I just always
I found that hilarious.
But we do got James, aka Kuan, on the podcast right now. Newest friend of the network. He's going to be doing content with us. James, do us a favor, bro. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the listeners. I don't think he can hear me because he's looking very.
No, I was
confused.
I'm taking care of something. I'm gonna check back in like 5 minutes, bro. Let me take care of this.
Oh yeah. No, Darrell, do your thing. Hey, James. Yo, can you see us? Yeah, we talking to you, bro. I was saying, I was letting the listeners know. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the listeners, sir.
All right. Give me like okay. One second. One quick second.
Okay, yeah. If you need a couple minutes, you're good.
What the fuck?
No, because I didn't want to miss this. This just came at the same freaking time. 0584.
Actually.
One second.
I do want to say I appreciate.
But I'm Kiwan. What, James? I go back Kiwan though.
What up, bro? What up? Good to have you, man.
Yeah, man. I want to say I appreciate you coming through to the paint and sip and bring your friends and shit, man. That was dope for real.
You already know, bro. See?
Bruce just for the listeners, for the live stream viewers, Bruce just had what is going to be our last paint and sip for the immediate future. We're going to be coming with something different for the next couple of weeks. Bruce is going to be doing different classes. If anybody wants to book Bruce for any type of private paint and sip events, we can host those in the studio. You're going to have to reach out to just go to mogulminds.net, hit the About Us section, let us know what it's about, and we'll get you in touch with Bruce and we'll set that up. But as of right now, it's going to be a little bit. Kiwan came through deep. He came through with his whole crew. We got a chance to politic. We got a chance to talk about a lot of growth, a lot of nation building. And he has a podcast that he's going to be bringing to the network. We got that in pre-production. So, Kiwan, you feel free to share what you want to share about what you want to do with your content and what you want to bring to the network.
For sure. Like I said, I was in the middle of actually contribute to this fucked up ass system by, allowing one of the brothers to call me from the inside. So, and that's where a lot of, what I'm bringing stemming from. It's stemming from systematic oppression on the levels that are not tangibly seen, or, you know what I'm saying? They can't be aesthetically identified. And, it has to do with absolutely reestablishing ourselves internationally amongst the states and member states and nations of this American continent, and you know, just reclaiming our titles, our original titles, and that title being our birthright of indigenous people. You know what I mean? The natural inheritors of the earth. You know what I'm saying? You know, God's people. Either way, you know what I'm saying? And couple of principles that I'm firm on, I want to stand on, is especially with this diverse group, we need to understand, first and foremost, fundamentally, there is no such thing as race, and this is a social construct. And we want to completely like eradicate a whole bunch of different beliefs on a whole bunch of other things, right? It's just tribes of people. These tribes of people have been here. They were here pre-colonization, and that's all that is required to identify yourself as an indigenous member, as an indigenous people, as an indigenous person of the America, or a descendant of the indigenous peoples of America. You know what I'm saying? As we all know, there is, excuse me. So that's one thing. And like I said, I got a nice little network with me, and it's like a buildup of expression. Like we all have found ways to express ourselves through music, you know, dance, in any other way. But it's like the main forms of expression that actually manifest things are written expressions and spoken ones. You know what I'm saying? Oral expression. So oral and written, and we have to record. We have to record. Recording is so essential, and what we record is absolutely vital. You know what I'm saying? People recording, you know, slave catching music. That's what I kind of, and me personally, like I say, it goes over, you know, my threshold. I know what to take in, how to filter, but we understand how music and forms of expression take hold on people, and so it's definitely levels. So I say that to say we want to just establish ourselves internationally and become known as our own member state, fuller state.
In summation there, the purpose of the podcast is you, as you chronicle this journey and put it on the record, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
We already begun. I've begun the process of, you know, disbanding myself from the United States, the nation. And I want to keep that as a template, because now what I've uncovered is these people actually are starting to respond. They're responding by blocking people from doing exactly what me and a couple of others have done already, which is copyrighting our names, authenticating our lives, certificates of birth, and, you know, making the distinction between ourselves and a corporation and the franchise. So, and you know, it ain't no easy process. And the more of us that do it, the more power gets behind, because a nation is basically an accumulation of states. A state is a self-governed sovereign entity. We are born sovereign. You know what I'm saying? We are born sovereign, and we have our constituent states members and people who doing the same thing. So you bring all these states together and you create a nation. You know what I mean? You create a nation. We establish ourselves among the United Nations, but even before that, we established ourselves among the states, which is the Organization of American States, which is the intercontinental government of the American continent. This what a lot of people don't even know. So
is this
the United States
all going to be available on the podcast? This is what you're going to be talking about, like how people can go through the process of getting themselves copyright name or whatever the
renouncing citizenship, renouncing U.S. citizenship.
So
that's what we're doing.
Before you get too far ahead, because obviously this is something that has to be very history based and legal based and paperwork based. So we don't need to give people too much. I definitely think that anybody who even has an idea of what you're talking about, which the people on this podcast do, but and any of the listeners who may have been looking along those lines, you plan to be giving out resources as long as people are, you know, interacting with you and things like that. And that's one of the many reasons that I made it a point to just go ahead and invite you. And you've seen that we have broached these different topics in some of the interviews that we've done in the past, which I think you even said you checked out yourself. And for anybody who wants a little bit more information, you can definitely go follow them.
I missed the whole thing.
Vino, that's a whole different conversation.
And
we can definitely come back to it. Vino just hopped in. I know Darrell said he's doing a couple of things, so he'll be back on in a minute. We were talking before all of you guys hopped on, and I want to, this one's for One Light. One light. So we were talking about, this Chicago legend that just became one of the richest people in the world, but then also the richest black man in U.S. history, aka Kanye West. What do you guys have to say about this Chicago legend as Chicago artists out here on the grind, as engineers, producers, and rappers?
That's their favorite too, bro. Like you got to take that into account. They love that man. Like this is about to be fire. Let's go.
I mean, Kanye is the GOAT, like he always been. He been talking a lot of shit for a lot of years. He been crying about it. He been crying about the industry, crying about the fashion industry. He been putting boots to asses in every industry he gets in, and he finally getting his just due. I mean, but this ain't even the finally just due. He was already a billionaire. You know what I mean? Now it's just like a cherry on top. Now he the richest black man in U.S. history. That's
Facts, man. I just realized we was
like
unmuted. All right. Yeah, no, Kanye is fucking awesome. Love for him, man.
Very big creative influence for sure.
Yeah, man. I also want to emphasize that I think like over like what 3 billion of that is due to like Yeezy.
Yeah,
his own fucking company and shit. Dude, he's doing his shit for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
I did want to add. That like the more he makes, the more money he makes, the quieter he becomes, and he actually do express himself and let out that truth he's been letting out for so many years.
I mean, he going through a divorce. He ain't really got a lot to say right now.
Hey,
I'm two things to respond to both of those things. One, I would say the more money he makes, the quieter the media is about him, because typically when he says anything, they try to spin it and make him look crazy. Right. And it's kind of hard to make a motherfucker look crazy when his billions keep going up. Like, I want to be that type of crazy. Then fuck it. Like if that's crazy, I want to be that type of crazy. I did want to know
like how these corporations, like, why are they like, all right, I'm happy that he's got this wealth, but why are they reporting on it? Is them like, at what point is it too much pocket watching? Like, leave this man alone and let him make his ends.
You're not gonna escape Forbes, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's interesting to see these numbers, like, but for the sake of just having a scale. But aside from that, man, I don't need to know what this man's making. Like, let him.
He's on his way to becoming the richest black person in history. Period. I think the richest one was like 10 billion.
He's not.
That's what I
according to Google.
No. He's way in history, bro.
No,
history according to Google. It's like 10 billion.
History is not
I know
old,
Google ain't right, but
U.S. history is not that old.
I mean, U.S. history is
not that old.
I'm with Kiwan. I'm with Kiwan.
Everybody, hold on 1 second. Just so everybody knows and we're on the same page, despite anybody's opinion, the richest man that ever walked the planet is still a black dude. So the richest person, like Kanye being the richest black person, is very unlikely, because Mansa Musa was destabilizing economies.
I understand.
Well, he's an African. They said African American. They didn't even say black. They're being very specific because.
We're just saying to what he just said. He said
neither of those
black man history
are that long, are that old. Black people are not that old. Neither is African American. They both creations, and the history of them ain't that long.
Right. The language that they use for that title is really interesting to me. That's what I got to say.
So
Rich
Edwin,
black person.
Edwin, we didn't hear your opinions on Kanye or Kangen Walker.
Well, first thing about the water.
Oh shit!
I have the machine. I have a machine myself. I've had one for over a year now. What I did notice is that everything that had to do with the machine that I would look up would have a negative title to it, and then when I would read, it was actually something positive about the machine, and that really caught my attention. Another thing that I really like about the company Enagic in itself
is that they don't just sell you a machine, they also provide you with an opportunity. So you're not only getting something that gives you alkaline water and also provides you with water that you could use as a substitute for hand sanitizer and as a way to clean your produce, but you also get an opportunity to become a distributor. And with this opportunity, you could, sell machines and promote and get bonuses and build up for yourself. So, I mean, not only is it somewhere where, you get and invest in something that's going to help your health down the line, but you also could create another stream of income for yourself with the company overall. So, I mean, it basically pays for itself no matter what direction you want to go. So, there are other machines that are US based that are ionized, they call them ionizers. They don't have warranties. They don't have warranties. They don't give you an opportunity to be a distributor. And I mean, just all around, it's interesting. They talk about machines from other countries being, they talk about them negatively. And this is considered a medical device. It's every hospital in Japan is required to have this machine as well. So, I mean, to me, Kangen water is a no-brainer if you're drinking water, period.
And then Kanye.
And then man, Kanye. Look, I'm looking at the title. I'm looking at the title right now. Hold on. Damn. Somebody got to mute.
So yeah, somebody definitely needs to mute.
My fault. I'm about to mute in a second after I say this. You mentioned, and it's a hangover cure because like Savage, and I haven't not woken up with a hangover in a long time, ever since I've been drinking this water. Well, I call it magic water.
It is magic water. It hydrates you to a whole other, it hydrates you to a whole other level. And then, but look, this Kanye thing, man, like, I mean, so look, I'm always impressed by Kanye because I believe that I think he's an amazing artist. So I don't want to take away from that. And I also appreciate how, I mean, he came into every game, and I believe he was made fun of. Every game he walked into, he was made fun of, and then ended up pretty much being on top of everyone in the game that he walked into. So the music game, he came in with a polo and a backpack, and people were like, who is this guy? And then ended up shutting it all down. The shoe game, people are making fun of his shoes, and now people are in line waiting for his shoes.
How much?
22.
So I really believe that he's a pioneer. But it's interesting though, like what we were talking about, what they let us know and what they show us in the media. So first of all, the more money he makes, okay, fine, you're not talking about him. But now suddenly here's a title that says richest Black person in US history. To me, that's interesting. I mean, I remember when we used to be USA and now we're suddenly US. I remember when, a person of color was considered African American and now he's considered a Black person. So, I don't know. It's like, what does it really mean? What are they? My questions are, what are they taking my eyes away from? Like what is, like, how many people of color have actually made, money, and how much money have they made, and what do we know and what do we not know? I think
I want to chime in on that. Because like you said, black person in the US. Just look at the root. Black is at the very bottom of the color of the law. The color of the law has black completely buried under all types of other castes that are before it, literally. And person, that's a corporation, organization, trusteeship, whatever you want to call it. So it can mean a lot of things. And you talk about riches. What is even rich? What does rich even mean? You know what I mean? What does rich even mean? So I just think it's all a bunch of hoopla. Is it true? Sure. Is it false? Maybe. Can it be like, I don't think it's nothing it's arbitrary. It's trivial. It's nothing. Like, it means nothing. And by black, I mean, you go back to what they consider black people to be as far as 3/5 of a man, and how they incorporated the other 2/5 to create a full person. And this don't just go for like what we consider black people. This goes for everyone who has been classified by the United States. And I'm saying that to say, okay, you have African American or black, which is basically a franchise of the United States. It's something that's completely created, completely made up, and internationally, black is at the bottom of every single barrel and caste system because of the precedent that's been set by the United States. So the titles are there to continue to, you know, make us comfortable with those identifications. And as long as we're comfortable with those identifications, we giving up our true nationality and our true creed. You know what I mean? Which are the other concepts.
Q1, while you're saying that, bro, just to be clear, you're not saying just black. You're saying all of these colorable laws. So you're saying black, white, Hispanic, none of it matters because none of it is names that we created for ourselves.
Yeah,
you're
Puerto
muted,
Rican,
bro. We can't hear you.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, black, Puerto Rican, Mexican, African American, Hawaiian, Alaskan, anything that goes on a freaking that's classified on registration processes. Those are United States franchise corporations, and when we do that, we consent to the rights that they pretty much give us, which is a microcosm of our actual rights. Okay, you ask somebody about what rights we have when you get into a real situation where rights in the law you would think matters, and they're gonna give you a small card or something, or give you a small list of things call those rights. Okay, and it's basically a monopolization of our actual rights, our human rights that's given by, you know, God the Creator, Mother Nature, and the land. So absolutely, the black is buried under the color of law, under Puerto Rican, Hispanic, Latino, European American, white, all these things is completely buried. And you know, so identifying ourselves as a color as opposed to a nation of people with a creed and an understanding of our ancestry and our, you know what I'm saying, and our divine right, and understanding our universally recognized human rights. Until we do that, because hold on, I got the declaration right. I'll be walking around with this stuff, bro. Like it's really like cemented in my brain to stop calling myself these things, because like black, and because they're literally not addressing.
I want to chime in on what you were saying. I don't want to cut you off. I'm sorry, brother, but yeah, just to add in to what he was saying as far as rights, nationality is a choice. A lot of people think they're born African American or Mexican, or you have you can like, that was one of the original issues. So like right now we have gender choice where people want to identify as male, female, cucumber, whatever. You don't have to be black. You can identify as a white lady, and that is like legal because you have a right. You can say that you're of any nationality. If you go in the mountains and chill with shaman people and pick up their prayers, you can say that is your new nationality, and the government has to respect that. But when you use your right to identify to a class system that they already chose for you via black, Asian, white, whatever these concepts are, then you're agreeing to whatever they impose upon you by agreeing to that.
That's deep, guys. And I've been researching this for a couple of years now. And this is stuff that, like, I can't tell you how many times I went on these crazy little rants, the same exact type of rants to Picasso and Dan from One Light, and Picasso and Prophet, Dan and Anthony. It's difficult for me to do this, but yeah, guys, this is all conversations that you guys have to look forward to, and learning more about nationality, learning more about colorable law, learning more about things that we are inalienable and unalienable rights, things that we need to know and we don't learn in school, because realistically, the schooling system, why would they teach the people they need to be workers the keys to their freedom? You know,
Yeah.
like it makes no sense.
Hey, I would just want to say this podcast, I would love to see, like, you know, we talk about these problems all the time. Everybody talks about them, but like actual solutions. So like you said, how do you establish yourself as a separate entity? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think giving the people links and paperwork to like fill this shit out and you could do this is important. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of just being like, oh, there's this problem and there's this problem. All right, well, when do we get to the solution? You know what I'm saying? And that's all I think.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that. Not to cut you off, but I'm so glad you said that, because That's what I'm about. I'm about applying action. So spreading this information is one thing, but establishing yourself and making the fucking world recognize you is a whole entirely different thing. And it's only two establishments or governments that we need to be in order to recognize ourselves. And if you're going through any U.S. agency or federation or federal institution, we ain't getting nowhere. This is why we saw all of our forefathers fail, because fighting for Black power and African American rights is, or however, whatever, any one of those colorable motherfucking, it's a dead end fight, because it's local. Okay, so they let the state deal with your ass, but if it somehow gets out to the nation, okay, the nation kind of covers it up. So our thing is, the next level is to go inter-nation or international. You understand? And it's two. One being the Organization of American States, okay, which the United States is a member state of. The United States is basically Illinois to a makeup of 35 other states, member states. And these are all, this include Belize, Mexico, Bolivia, a bunch of different places on the American continent. The American continent has an intercontinental government, okay? They can, and there's a president of that intercontinental government, and it ain't no goddamn Joe Biden. There's a treasury, there's all these people who hold international governmental positions for the continent of America. We like to think that we all split up. No, South America, North America, Central America, all one continent, and there is a government that's governing. And the only reason that we have not been able to exercise properly is because for one, we don't know about it, and for two, they just started in 2016. Actually, well, I ain't gonna even go to United Nations because that's worldwide. So we just gonna keep it on the continent. In 2016, they adopted a declaration, the American Declaration on Rights of Indigenous People. Okay, everybody can look this up and go Google it. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna dive into how to swing Thor's hammer, because this is Thor's hammer right here. This is Excalibur as well. So we're gonna get into how to use this motherfucker, because once we pick it up, guess what? We are all responsible for saving the fucking world. Okay, so you know, this is what it's about. So the Organization of American States is the #1 person. They got a headquarters in New York. I'm driving to that motherfucker. I'm done with all the rest. I done already started the process. The city and state, they all small. But for any other shit happen that they thinking, I'm gonna be talking to like every motherfucking the top people at the motherfucking Illinois government before they ever get a hold of whatever the fuck going on. But Illinois government is fucking obsolete when you talk about us being under international jurisdiction. Now the law, well, that's another story. There's so many outputs. I'm gonna try to stay focused. So the Organization of American States, get familiar with that faction and that government entity, and then it's gonna kind of come a little clear where it's like, okay, none of our forefathers took no problems to this government seat and said, I'm a fucking the United States, which ain't no goddamn country or nation. It's a fucking federal corporation, as everybody knows. They violating these. They violating these. And once we go to that distance, and we have to be able to say, okay, they're gonna say, who the hell are you? What nation are you a part of? Are you stateless? Okay, no, I'm not stateless. I'm a member of the indigenous peoples of America. If you go over there and say I'm a black person fighting for black rights, they're gonna be like, yeah, we don't know, you're stateless. What the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? Under the color law, it's buried. It means nothing. You know what I mean? Take your problems out with the people who classify the black people or whatever the fuck y'all are. So, but when you go internationally, like I said, the Organization of American States, and the United States is one of those states of 35 members. They all adopted this American Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People. And the #1 criteria, the #1 criteria for it, for being an indigenous people is self-identification. Self-identification. The state shall respect the right to self-identify as an indigenous people.
When you said that, it reminded me of some documents that I came across a couple years back, I think in 2012 with the UN. I know you started to move away from it. You almost brought it up for a second. Obama signed the UN resolution. It's been around since the 1950s. Every US president just ignored it. Obama signed it, and one of the first things that it says in this declaration is 1940. Okay, so one of the first things that it says in the declaration is basically no government shall deny a person from proclaiming who they are. Like they cannot tell you the same way that he was. Darrell was just saying, if you want to be a cucumber, then you're a motherfucking cucumber, and they gotta acknowledge it. It's no different here. If Picasso says, "Look, I'm a young king," who is here to tell him that he's not? Based on fair laws that they have written and they universally accept and acknowledge, no one can tell you that you're not. And that's really what QAnon is getting at here. I have no problem with this content and going in on it. It's just not typically what we do on Thursday nights. So we can always set another day to really go a little bit further in depth, because I can clearly see that there's a lot of different information that you want to give out. And you pretty much got everybody here like listening, and we're all captivated. It's just not the live stream like interaction that we normally get. So I know that there's a couple of different topics that we had on the docket, and I know I had always got some pop culture that he wants to talk about. I think he had some comment, like I think he was saying something about his light-skinned king earlier. You were saying something about the sixth guy that y'all call him. What were you saying? I don't know where it is. He probably don't even hear me. He was definitely.
He'll be right back on. He got to share.
No,
he's about to share something real quick.
All right, so check it out. Before we move on to that, Isaiah's favorite topic of Drake. Let's talk about this right quick.
Hey, I can't lie. The mixing on that new Drake was ridiculous.
Oh yeah, the mixing was crazy.
Like that, like changed the standard for audio quality.
We'll get into it real quick, but let's just discuss this. Forbes article drops. No, why Kanye is not the richest black person.
Hey, hold on. Forbes has been hating on Kanye for a minute consistently. Every time Kanye glows up, Forbes throws a sneak diss article out. And I feel like Kanye just pissed off somebody at Forbes one time. So, in my personal opinion,
that is true.
Wait a second.
We read this,
I didn't really get a chance to interject. I know I came in a little late, but if I was to guess, right, because I was having an argument with somebody about new money. See, people don't know the value of new money. Like Jay-Z, up until, Dr. Dre with the beats and all that shit, like Jay-Z was like the richest fucking rapper anybody knew.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For a long time. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Kanye.
It wasn't even close. It was him and Diddy, basically.
Yeah. But Kanye not only was his protege, but on his rise to fame, not only did he get new money, like what made Jay-Z rich, Kanye was making what I would like to call right now newer money. Kanye's getting money from shit Jay-Z wasn't getting rich off. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that you have to really pay attention to.
So basically what Darrell is saying is, ain't nobody on this podcast own them Black Album shoes, but everybody on here want a pair of Yeezys.
Yeah, it's very, 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 very obvious that when you look at,
I think Ye just mastered it.
No, and then there's other simple concepts, right? Like at the beginning of last year, Bitcoin was about $9,000. Don't quote me on exact numbers, but I remember specifically they took a dive because they was in the teens, 13, 14,000, and it dropped after that. I'm like, damn, is this shit gonna fall off? But beginning of last year is about $9,000. Beginning of this year, it's $50,000, $56,000. If Kanye simply had $100 million in Bitcoin, he literally just made the kind of money that they're saying he has. Like it's simple ways when you're up there on the totem pole with creative, 100% creative genius. You got, you know what I'm saying? You have to acknowledge that. You just can't, like Michael Jackson, whoever you want to talk about, they got a lot of money for a lot of years, did not own 100% of nothing that they were in business with. Kanye West is making money that black people have never made in this country.
Hold on now, Darrell.
Can I say something about money?
Yeah, but real quick, there is, because I can't let him speed past that.
Wait, consistently, because usually when somebody gets like access to their shit, they get killed or assassinated.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Michael Jackson, prior to the tragic incident that happened, now how people believe that happened is up to them. What people don't know is Michael Jackson actually, when he found out his worth and how he could buy his masters and they couldn't really stop him, they owed him so much money that, from my understanding, he owned no less than half of Sony's publishing. And that's for all the artists under Sony. So for every fucking dollar that comes in, let's say Rock Nation and all their artists are signed to Sony for a distribution deal. For every fucking dollar that they get in, he get 50 cents. Now that could piss off some corporate pieces of shit. That's all I was getting at. Michael Jackson did phenomenal business.
With Kanye, the difference between Kanye and Mike is he did it independent. Kanye didn't have to take over some white guy's corporation to get all his money. Kanye's getting money off fanatics, and you can't stop the fanatics.
That's true. I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'm not a stan, but Kanye got my support wholeheartedly, especially me. I'm biased for Chicagoans. I don't give a fuck. Fuck them.
Yep.
Like,
no question. I think Kanye opened the most monumental part about it, and like I said, we talk about money, and man, and I love what's the name of this concept, because we really got to realize there ain't really no such thing, especially not in the United States, and that's why it's called net worth. Okay, he just established the line of credit. He established a stable product and the right people to distribute that product, and the right people to buy that product at the right time when the right people were getting the money to really be able to afford this product. $200-300 for shoes is like nothing to that. So why not get the most comfortable fucking pair? I mean, the only genius in it was that he made a quality fucking product, and he charged accordingly based off his input into it. And he kept getting credit. We thought he was, he's going broke. He's not going broke. He was establishing credit. Kanye got control of his trust, or at least some portions of it. So now his worth is they able to quantify his worth. It ain't got nothing to do with money. It's not about money at all. It's about what we're trying to accomplish as well, and what some of those people are able to accomplish. But after they accomplish it, or after they get given this freedom, they actually are contracted. Okay, and that's what when you become a state, and even as a nation, which you're subject to handling international affairs, you able to trade and contract with people. So after we become a state, we'll be able to go and contact Apple and say, all right, we want to contract for this, woo, and you're gonna serve, woo, and we got a fucking nation of people to serve, and y'all gonna be able to serve because y'all ain't got no fucking choice. We actually are entitled to a piece of every single business operating on the land here. We entitled to it. We entitled to a seat at all of their corporate fucking stations and governments. You know what I'm saying? So when they talk about value and what you're worth, every man has the potential of, you know what I mean, exponential work. Like we all have innumerable amounts of work. That's just what they've been able to quantify, and he's tied to that. That's why that motherfucker's still miserable. You think Kanye he fucking miserable because he's tied to proving your worth. It's slavery. It's a form of high class slavery.
Yeah, I'm back to cut you, bro. The clearest point to me is that Kanye changed shoes. Everybody has copied the soft top. You know what I'm saying? Like the fabric top with like the gummy bottom, whatever the fuck. I don't know the exact terminology. He did that. He just changed how shoes look. Like something you wear every day.
He did what Elon Musk did with cars, with Tesla, with shoes, pretty much.
Yeah.
And what Bill Gates did with phones. It's the same shit.
Some evolution.
What Apple did with phones. Not Bill Gates, Apple, Steve Jobs. My bad. Shit. I'm retarded.
No, yeah, man.
Steve Jobs, y'all watch Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs didn't care about stuff.
Yeah, what's up?
Don't feel bad. I get old white guys confused too.
I don't care about him, bro.
No, but Steve Jobs, he was a genius, but not the way that people think. Like I thought it was sick the way that when he died, that people were holding candlelight vigils. Not to say that, look, this man, don't get a man his flowers while he's here. Praise a man while he's here. Praise a man while he can hear you. But at the same time, I think it's this celebrity worship culture we got here. And I know this might sound hypocritical after a nigga just went like, circles back to Kanye twice since we started this podcast, but I don't worship Kanye. I don't own a pair of Yeezys because I'm not in the tax bracket where I'm paying $400 for a pair of shoes just because Kanye created them bitches. I got better shit to spend my loot on right now. But all that shit being said, I do just think that people don't understand. Steve Jobs was good at having smart people bring his vision to life. Like, and I think it takes a certain level of genius to do that, but it's not like this nigga was like, you know, doing all the tinkering himself, and he went from fucking, he single-handedly took us from flip phones to the iPhone. That's not what he was.
Hey, so I'm reading something right now that says most of Kanye West and Drake's albums have been removed from Apple Music.
So what, Apple sneak this?
No, I think they're moving their streams away from Apple.
Oh, they're gonna. Jay-Z has that new deal coming out with Twitter and Cash App, right?
It's it's Square. Square.
Is it Square or is it Cash App?
What is that?
It's all the same shit.
He
Jack
sold
Dorsey
majority
owns
of
all
his
of
rights
those.
and title, right?
Hey, Darrell, that's a good question, right? Because while people are on this black-owned business wave, people how Jay-Z played motherfuckers.
That's not what I think it is.
Jay-Z played motherfuckers like he got everybody hyped. Yeah, come get this black-owned business. The artists are gonna own their own shit. Got that net worth up, and then he just sold the fuck out of that shit.
Hey, but no, that's not true because those artists also got paid off that deal.
I heard he paid everybody. I heard he did go and pay every motherfucker who had
whoever was the owner, whatever amount of shares they had, they got their price. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
all the owners, like you're saying, he got all those. Go ahead. My bad, Anthony. Go ahead.
Oh, good, bro. You said that they were taking Kanye and Jay-Z stuff off Apple Music?
That's what I just read. I just read that most of their albums are being removed.
I'm looking for their shit right now. I'm trying to find.
Oh, I'm about to look too. Give me a second.
You know what that means, bro?
They're starting their own shit, NFT.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Damn, I can do
it. It's going there, bro.
I know. As soon as I heard you say that, I was like, no way.
Yeah, bro.
I have an idea that's somewhat related to what Kanye and Jay-Z are probably about to do, which is.
I'm not gonna lie. This man's Picasso had this idea like, man, a good 2 months ago, if not longer. And NFTs is like the shit popping right now. I don't know how to get into them. If anybody out there that sees this and you know about NFTs, please come on one of these weeks.
I'm doing research on that right now. I'm doing research on NFTs.
I'm about to say y'all better YouTube that shit. YouTube gonna give motherfuckers some shit, y'all.
NFTs like the new trading card.
But what I think they've done, I think that
fact,
once you gain, like I say, once you gain established your control, establish yourself as the beneficiary of your trust, and your value is just skyrocketing and doing all this shit, you able to contract. This is why they not snatching Kanye and them shit. Kanye and them snatching their shit off of there. Everything that they probably gaining control of the rights to, they taking it off because they're gonna put it on their own stream. And this is what having a, how do you say it? Once we create a nation, we can feed that nation the music we want to feed them, how we want to feed it to them. So the more people you blot out after you utilize them as instruments and tools, you learn their ways. Okay, you mirror your enemy. You learn the ways of these, you know how Apple Music works and their systems and their little contractual operations. You learn, and you let them. You play with the system, and when you play with it for so long, you learn it, and you start to cut out all the middlemen that you can. This is how you increase your value and net worth. What, you know what I mean? That's something I'm gonna look up in this Black's Law Dictionary too. Worth and net worth and all that stuff.
Hey, so while we're on that conversation, right, talking about net worth and upping your net worth, so let's take it a little bit light. All right, if you could go.
Wow.
I want us to have this conversation, right? Because I feel like everybody's getting these stimmies right now, and some people using their stimmies to get Kangen water machines. And definitely that's a phenomenal investment for your stimmies.
I spent my whole stimmies on t-shirts.
Well, are you selling them t-shirts?
Nah, they mine. They for me.
Oh,
sorry.
You just out here, huh?
He's just fly out here.
I made a Juice World.
Hey,
That's
That's a hard
so
shirt, though.
literally, in the words of Kanye, literally, you out here just fresh to death, huh?
I'm fucking up, bro. Fucking up out here.
So if you go to the Instagram page,
Yeah, I was just gonna actually get into your favorite topic. We never got to that.
We could come back to your light skin king. Let's get on who we would choose to be our partner to help us flip our Stimmy.
Who's our partner to flip?
To help us flip?
Okay.
Go. There's a
Okay.
meme. There's a meme on the IG, or it's also on the Facebook.
Yeah.
So
I saw that meme. I think it's missing some guys.
It's definitely missing some guys because I feel like Ace from Paid in the Full should have been on there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Nino Brown.
Yeah, Nino's on there.
Oh, Nino right there. Bet. That's what I'm rolling with.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm either going with Nino Brown or fucking my boy. What's his name? Cranston.
Walter White.
Walter White, yes sir. That right side right there. That's where I'm at.
Walter White making them M's.
Don't forget now, guys. Tommy did
Jordan
get it out
Belfort.
the
I'm going Jordan Belfort.
Hey, Jordan Belfort's a good one because he started with penny stocks. Jordan Belfort is true proof. Like,
Hey, but
it don't matter.
what Jordan Belfort also did though? He fucked a lot of people out of their money. That's why I wouldn't go with him, because when he was getting them penny stocks, he was getting rich while other people lost money.
All right. So by that logic, then, you don't need to.
Did
fuck
you
with
see
Nino
New
Brown.
Jack City?
Name one of those. Hold on.
Don't
The
fuck
only
with
way
Nino,
people
then.
can get rich, the only way you can establish wealth is on the backs of poor people, bro. Like, we can pick and choose when we want to wield and be conscious, and some people are better served in those positions. Even if you lost a little money, it's a double back. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to win to lose and lose to win. That is duality. Like, it's, so, and to an extent, people who get fucked out of money and, they got to learn. We all got to learn.
The way that
to
the
play poker,
monetary
be great at
system
poker,
works.
your only lesson is to fucking play it. And poker and chess, those are two games that I actually had to pay to learn because nobody was giving me no fucking answers. So the guys who were better were like, all right, we're gonna make sure your ass, in chess, it's like, okay, no, I ain't gonna keep playing you if I'm better than you. So I'm gonna make you pay every time we play. And I guarantee you get better faster that way. And in poker, nobody's gonna tell you when they got it or when they don't. Motherfuckers just gonna crack your head. So I call that just paying for lessons when you take a loss. So on one end, you got the people who lost money, but when you lose, and it's not even money, when you lose, you can get it back. You just have to have the mental. If you don't have the mental, you weren't gonna do right by the money any goddamn way. The people
Plus,
who get the money,
shit. They all bought them stocks. Fuck all the bullshit. You should have read.
Right, they bought them. They spent their money.
So
long genius. Hardest shit, and he effectively switched his business because he was struggling, busting his back, and he learned.
So this is groundbreaking. This is ground.
Isaiah, you sound terrible, bro.
You fuck your mic out of there.
I'm gonna mute you, bro.
Second week in a row, Isaiah.
The way that the monetary system works is that it literally relies on people being in debt and the interest and shit. Like, there has to be someone in debt for there to be someone that's rich. I agree with what you were saying, man. I studied the Federal Reserve and all that shit and how exactly all that works. And
now, Keyshawn,
I'm a book dude.
If everybody went to withdraw every dollar out the bank right now, everybody, the country will collapse.
Bro, I'm a book dude. This is a Federal Reserve book right here.
What's that book called? Let's link it.
Modern Money Mechanics.
All right, what you?
It's
what
a
do you
real
mean
little
about
thin
that?
book, and it's telling the fiat currency system. It's all credit. There is no money. There is no money. They after they dropped the gold standard, 1933. That was a fucking In 1929, you had the market crash, but
it was
in 1919. No, in the 70s. I can't recall that one. I'm going back to when we adopted the fiat currency system, which is based on credit and some little fancy form of a dollar or note or some fancy note that took people's eyes and attentions off of true money, which was an exchange, okay, an even exchange. What they say,
It
a
was
fair
really
exchange
for
ain't
good.
around. Okay.
Natural resources, gold, silver, shit like that.
They dropped, yes. The Federal Reserve forced America. The Federal Reserve is actually formed by original venture capitalists, the guys who started, you know, revolutionized banking, cars. They made
Supposedly
oil.
the 6 richest men in the world started.
Okay, we can name them then. We can go ahead and name them. Rockefeller,
I don't know the
Rothschild,
names,
Henry
bro.
Ford. No, these the guys.
Yeah.
These are the guys.
Yeah.
These are the guys responsible for credit bureaus, fucking IRS,
JP Morgan.
banking system, JP Morgan, Andrew Carnegie, Rockefeller, Rothschilds, Henry Ford, and these are and it's some more. Then you go back even further to Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Edison, and like you niggas wasn't fucking.
They're talking about reparations right now because they can prove that they made their riches off of the land, and that belonged to the people. See, it's not an individual. When they was getting all their riches, they didn't even have the patents that they got now. They didn't even have that shit. They had to create the patent system to legally keep all the money that they was making off this new system that they built.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's the Babylonian slave trade system. It's the Babylonian slave system. The shit is arcane. It's like, and these motherfuckers, when you get money or when you get, like I said, they subsidize the resources, media, oil, technology, precious metals. They forced America in 1933 to drop the gold standard, okay, and in favor, and so because you know people weren't necessarily consuming the way, even though in 1919 there was a market boom, okay, like the market just fucking started booming from technology and resources, and people were finding shit and making shit happen, and
They
like
had
it was
electric cars. They had full electric cars 100 years ago. That's what people really don't understand.
They had cars that ran off water, bro. Like somebody invented a car that ran, like actually was runnable off of fucking water. And this is, but you know, if you do that, you know, you don't leave room for the guys who corner in the market. And that's what they did. They cornered the market and they forced the United States into a deal.
I think it was in 1983 they killed him. His name was Stan Meyer. He made a car that could run on water. He was kind of using Tesla technology, and he died in the parking lot of a diner saying they poisoned me, or as the story is told.
Yes, sir. That was a good one right there. I'm about to write that down and do that due diligence because that's important to know. And it's like anybody that because we all have the ability to come up with an idea, like I said, that does not have a value. Okay, it does not have. It's priceless. This is why they.
My fault, bro. You just dropping so many jewels. I'll be trying to throw in some shit with what you saying because you're making me think of shit that I be knowing. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, they got electric cars. They got cars that run on water. So they already pumped up the fossil fuels. They mapped that out for maybe 500 years, even though they know that it's a natural current resource. The thought of it being a fossil fuel is actually it's a joke, so they could jack up the prices and tax the people. It occurs naturally in the way they done emptied out all types of mines full of oil and then shit's filled back up. It's created naturally in the earth.
Darrell, up until the mid.
Hey, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just Matt is over there enjoying some noodles, boy. Like that shit look delicious, man.
It was another point I was making though. So like,
whatever the Geneva Convention was, Darrell, that's when the whole fossil fuel propaganda started about it being a limited resource or a finite resource. Before then, it was always known to be like the second most plentiful liquid on Earth. It replenishes itself like water.
In the earth naturally. So my thing is, if they got 500 years of planning with just fossil fuels, we can't skip electricity. They just mastered electricity. They didn't have fucking electricity. So a guy's like, man, I got an electric car. I can make cars that just run off basically fucking nothing. They're like, wait, we're not gonna skip past that and go straight to water, which would be super better for the environment, cheaper, this and that. Like, people are poor because they are keeping certain aspects of currency alive.
Because Darrell and Kiwan brought this up, if you guys would like to see, I can send over a video from the year 1900 where literally they had moving moving sidewalks. I could send over the video right now. It's like less than a minute.
The FCC got you one more time. Repeat that one more time for the people.
They had moving sidewalks 1900s.
Hey, they
definitely
that
cutting
off,
that.
bro.
That's such a
They're not
clean
letting
cut.
you get
There's
that
no
off.
way.
You can't hear me saying this?
Hold on. What was it called?
It'll cut out the
Repeat
most
that.
important syllable of what you're
Yeah,
saying.
Repeat that.
They had moving sidewalks in the 1800s.
Okay.
Moving sidewalks in the 1800s.
That's what I thought.
Can you guys hear me?
Now
we
we
can hear you.
Yeah.
Boom.
What do you mean by moving? Like, was it like what's
Bro,
that
I'm
shit
about to
called?
send it to you. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it on to the group, and then you can just share it.
Come on with it.
For the listeners, that's like basically like what you would consider an escalator or some modern technology.
No,
Back when they're talking
like
about
at the
people were
airport.
picking cotton and shit. Like they had super supreme technology. The most brilliant inventions were made in that time as well. What you were saying?
Yeah, no, like at the airport, the skyway where you just stand there and it takes you like from one end to the other. I don't know how many times you guys have been to the airport, but they.
Oh yeah,
have
the
one of
airport got the moving escalator. I was just gonna say that.
It's just the ones on the floor. Like it's
Like a
I used to
conveyor
work at
belt
the airport.
type shit.
All right, so
Yeah.
now that y'all all have that image in y'all head, right? All right, go ahead and check out the MMPM production group. I just sent the video of the moving sidewalk right there.
What happened? Just scared him.
Who shot at me? It was you. You was with right shot at me. Who shot? Shot at you. It was
AI, do you got WhatsApp open?
Nah, I'll do you one better.
Boom, there we go.
Hey, yo, family. This is Paris 1900.
You guys hear it?
You guys notice anything?
Yeah.
Moving sidewalks. Family. The law of entropy in physics states that in time, all things going to decline. They don't get better. Family, we don't have moving sidewalks. We don't have a Concorde. This man said, oh, and look to the right. Did you notice that? You might have missed that. I'm gonna slow it down and bring it back for you. Watch.
Thank you, man.
Family, tell me you notice how tall that guy on the right is right there. Look, he's coming back again. You see how tall he is, family? Yeah, man. Family, that is
Hey,
Tartaria.
I'm kind of glad there isn't moving sidewalks though.
Tartaria. This is Paris. The word Paris means par ISIS. It means or ISIS, family. Don't fuck around. Yeah, man. And see some color for you here, family. Yes, family. This is New Earth, New Tartaria. Family, when the fuck did we ever have videos from back then? It's that Mandela effect, family. Everything's resurrecting, coming full circle. Yeah, man. New Earth, New Tartaria. Atlantis, baby.
Hey, so what did you think about that, guys? What did
I
any
didn't
of
like
you
the
guys think?
ending. He got the merge and all kinds of shit that I think is a little, like off the radar. But for the most part, yeah, I'm with. He's very clear what he's saying. You can't argue with shit like it's like, damn, y'all got footage. Who was taking the footage? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Who invented that shit? What was y'all system? And who is that fucking 15-foot tall motherfucker on the escalator and shit?
That
Like,
was-
there's a lot of unanswered questions in that video and
I'm
shit.
so glad somebody brought it up because I don't care what anybody in the world says, and this again is one of the reasons that I'm a conspiracy realist. If a nigga is 12 feet tall and the average motherfucker today is 5'9", nobody here can tell me a 12-foot tall nigga is not a giant. That motherfucker's a giant as far as I'm concerned. Because if we got Bruce here on the podcast who's 5'8", and then a motherfucker like Kiwan, one of his ancestors is 10'11", to Bruce, that might as well be David and Goliath. You know what I'm saying? So in the 1900s, there were people 9 and 10 feet tall that just got, within the last 100 years, and they would have us believe that it's only in fairy tales that giants existed. I find that hard to believe because when you look at the Central American pyramids, they look like they got big ass steps. Somebody's background is too loud. Somebody needs to mute themselves. Thank you. But Anyway, that's unrelated. We never actually got to who we should pick to help us flip the Stimmy. So we could start with Boots and then go in order.
Yeah, actually, I'm a roll with Nino, and actually, I'm a roll with Wesley in real life. You feel me? Like the real live Wesley Snipes shit. I'm rolling with the real
the tax
Wesley.
evasion nigga.
Hell yeah. That's who I'm
Hey,
rolling with.
real life Stimmy.
Just filled out the form 58. Use this exemption. Instead, he went to jail. I can't rock with that. He fucked up. I'm going Jordan Belfort. The one who saw the highest ceiling, took the biggest gamble for the less what's name.
Kiwan, the audacity of you. The man didn't have all the knowledge. You know, the motherfuckers that the studios sent to him to be his fucking accountants wasn't giving him the knowledge.
Ignorance of the law is a real. They call it our personal responsibility. So I gotta hold this bitch ass dude accountable. With my broke ass on this low ass level was able to figure certain shit out. All of us, because we all some broke ass, rich minded people, and he was not able to arm himself correctly to avoid some shit like that. You a goddamn liability. And Nino was a liability.
Hey, I want to when Isaiah had a separate group, I want to jump on with you, bro, because you definitely right. They teach you in school, even in like pre-law, that if you don't know the law, that you have lawyers for that. But if you break the law, your lawyer can't get your ass off the case if they decide to nail your ass. He's just a negotiator in between. It's up to you to make sure you're doing the right shit. So the way you explain that, like, people got to understand that a lot of shit you talk, it's not what you think it is. You don't need, when you talking, you got to know that legalese is a real terminology, and these people use your words against you. They do not hesitate to tell you that anything you say can and will be used against you. Nothing is for your justice. That's why they have to tell you everything.
Not to cut you off, just to add a little notation for people who don't know. Legalese is a language that looks like English and sounds like English, but legalese is not English. And if you confuse it, they will make sure you know, because you will be behind bars or in debt.
100% fact. Legalese is the perversion of the English language. The Bible is written in legalese. All of the legal documents and religious scriptures are written in legalese. They're coded similarly, and just of those times. And the law books, I got about five. Well, I got three. I ain't gonna say five. I got three of these law dictionaries. This is where it all starts. It started up in these, bro.
You got Black's Law
I've heard of that shit.
I got like three of them. I got them in every station. I'm gonna bring one over there. I told you I'm laying the DNA down. So I'm gonna order a new one, because I'm gonna try to get every edition I can. I really want a person, because in those, the more you have, the more you can see they sick ass plot, how they pervert these words in order to make them fit all these weird ass motherfucking positions and statuses. How they justifying this shit legally. You know what I mean?
So I think that we should sit down for a writing session real soon. This is completely unrelated to everything else, and I doubt anybody who's watching is going to be able to steal this gem. So I'm just going to let it rock. We've been having this idea for over a year now, where you see Picasso down there, white hoodie of One Light Records. We want him to be Uncle Sam, and we would like to play out different historical scenarios showing Uncle Sam for the scheming gangster that he is, but doing it with using today's lingo so that people actually can understand what type of fucking, because they love to talk about the Nigerian scammers, but wasn't nobody scamming like Uncle Sam was scamming. And we just want to.
These motherfuckers the biggest scammers. Social security cards and birth certificates are the biggest fucking scam ever. Like, and they let everybody come on over here and eat up my ass.
Thinking you don't have a choice, and then say, "Man, you signed up for it." Once you sign your fucking name,
yeah,
that's their whole game.
They definitely play a lot of games, and they use intimidation tactics when you have a kid, because a lot of people don't know, and they completely try to disregard and disrespect the father and his rights. The father could say one thing, they'll blatantly ignore him and say, "Let's see what mom says." So you and your significant other got to make sure to be of single and sound mind for anybody who might be having kids anytime soon and doesn't want to play this system's game. Make sure that your lady's on the same page with you, because I promise you they're going to do it behind your back if you're not.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, for real.
Like, even if y'all fall out, y'all have to understand, like, don't put other people involved in whatever. Y'all can separate. If you're married, you can get a divorce. Whatever it is you're doing, have an understanding to the point where you do not put the entire society of law in between your children and parenting them. Parents.
Basically, what he's talking about is if you really need to cover your ass, come to a common understanding and then do a private union, private marriage contract, because that is between you and this other person that has nothing to do with the corporate fictional state or the municipality.
Thanks.
Absolutely. And marriage is just an agreement consenting adults. So you can make that agreement once we establish ourselves as states, because there's multiple women on my team that's ready and already versed in what's going on, and they coming. All the ones, what was it, 3 of them, they ready. So they gonna be their own individual states as well and be able to, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna be able to make those agreements amongst each other without no third party interference from no state trying to regulate or jump in the middle, or, you know what I mean, trying to claim jurisdiction over any situation that we got. Fuck, we fucking, y'all ain't involved in this shit. What the fuck I need to consult y'all to get married? You know what I'm saying? And then Illinois don't recognize common law marriages anymore. Illinois is fucked up. And it needs to be
listen, you was talking about legalese earlier. When you sign up to certain religions and certain cultures and you step in a church, talking about you want to get married, you are bound by the law of the church. And whatever institution you stepped in and wanted to, like what you was talking about is jumping the broom, old school.
To put real life application on what you're saying, when I was trying to get married with my wife, she wanted to get married at the Mumbai Temple, the Buddhist monastery up in Evanston. It's a beautiful place. If you guys have never been, you guys should all go check it out.
I have been there.
But the reason that we couldn't have our reception there is because the only way that they allow you to do it there is if you sign an Illinois state marriage license, and I refuse to do
See,
that.
right there. They trick you into thinking it's mandatory when really you just might have to try your other options, just other beautiful places. You understand what I'm saying? You'll be standing there like, well, let's just get it out the way. Now you stuck with all kinds of laws and rules and regulations that you wasn't prepared to deal with when you was with your significant other. They had nothing to do with your relationship.
You can do that. You can contract with your woman and we gonna get married.
No, go ahead, finish like what you guys were saying. Quick, keep on.
No, I was because my bro just asked me, man, you can do that? You can get married without the state? Yes, you can. There's a such thing as common law marriage. And it's just coming up with
in Illinois, after 7 years of living with your girl, the state considers you common law marriage. So either way, like it doesn't matter. And you're better off just having your own private.
And this also goes back to record. History is recorded. When you register, you're doing some other shit. So understand that that's something we never want to do. If you gotta register, apply, enroll, any of that, open an account, do any of that stupid shit, we giving up rights when we do shit. So to be our true selves, we record. We record with the county, with the state, with the Fed, with God, nigga. Just put it on paper, put it on wax, and we're gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Put it on paper, put it on wax, and let them know what we doing. We're not asking for permission for shit. We coming and we gonna go claim all these reparations and all that shit too. Like all this shit finna happen. I'm telling you, Mogul Mind's about to be fucking world international. We gonna be everything we doing because we gonna have that liberty to move around. We're gonna you know, claim our shit back. And doing that, we claiming our nationality. What's our nationality? Indigenous peoples of America. How you know you indigenous? Well, I'm gonna go back to these family trees, man, and all these goddamn birth records that say we was up in these motherfucking in these places that y'all done ran us out of.
And that's the whole Americas. That's not restricted to United States. That's like my people in Bolivia, my Mexican brothers and sisters, Jamaicans, the Caribbean.
They are part of the Organization of American States. Those are indigenous peoples of the American continent. The American continent is not just North America. It's not just the territory that is the United States. It's Central, North, and South America. And all those countries you just named are member states.
Kiwan, don't ever forget the adjoining islands, because for a lot of people like to forget Cuba and Haiti and Jamaica.
Look, I'm gonna send the list. We can all look up the list. Organization of American States. Everybody we just named is a part of that, is on that list. Everybody we all just named is a part of the Organization of American States. The United States is just one territory. All those people we just named, Cuba, Mexico, Bolivia, Belize, all these places are member states to the Organization of American States, meaning everybody got to say so. So if we bring this shit to light, we gonna weaken the United States is every fucking body's goddamn disease right now. Our government is everyone's disease right now, but it will not change until the core, until it implodes. It's gonna implode. And where's Illinois? Illinois, right in the fucking heart. That's right near one of the motherfucking main arteries of this motherfucker. So once we snatch that shit loose, I'm telling you, we got people in Virginia, Florida, Texas, New York, Pittsburgh, motherfucking the Carolina.
Q1, we should hop on a podcast this weekend and we can talk nation building. We should hop on.
I'm ready to hop on a podcast right now.
It's definitely gonna start in Chicago, that's for sure.
And then you know why? Cook County, Cook County, first of all, the most powerful county in the nation, nigga. They might as well be their own state. Like, for real. These motherfuckers are powerful and they fucking corrupt. And nobody ever done shit about them. In the 1990s, 93 and 94, I want to say, it was 2 federal investigations that led to judges, lawyers, attorneys, judges, attorneys, and district attorneys all going to prison in Illinois, nigga. Cook County courts. Like, understand the gravity of this shit.
It sounds like we need to do another sweep of these bitches.
This was not that long ago, bro. This was before Blagojevich. This was before the other governor that just went to jail. This before all these motherfuckers. This is before Michael Madigan, who's been in office for 40 fucking years, just stepped down. This is before the 4 people who was with him that got fucking indicted. You know what I'm saying? Charges alone. All that, all the illegal corrupt shit that they're doing. And a big thing in Cook County is they like to go off of your background. Being a person that went through these systems, they use that background shit to completely annihilate your character.
So I'm glad you
anything about you.
Hold on,
and their background is worse than anybody's.
Hey,
watch the Magnificent Seven. For those of y'all who haven't watched this, based off a true story. If you want to know how you get treated in a courtroom when the Cook County judge think they got the history on you, watch the Magnificent Seven. Well, not the Magnificent Seven. The Chicago
7. The trial of Chicago 7 with Bobby Seale and the war protesters.
While we're on the topic, me and Q1 were actually having this conversation earlier. For any of you who don't know, people like to think about the gangs in Chicago today as they always were, and these street organizations did not start as how they are today. And if you ever go back and look at the things that Jeff Fort was doing, we did a podcast with a Seer the Duke of Tears. It's called Freemasonry Exposed. Go check that episode out. But even in that episode, he talked about how Jeff Fort and the brothers that he was moving with, you can go find a picture of Jeff Fort. You can go find pictures of him wearing his fez and operating in their proper status. Now, they got involved in a little bit of street shit, and that kind of led to their downfall. But outside of that, they were moving as a body politic. And Darrell, I know Kiwan got the answer, but Darrell, if you had to describe a body politic, how would you describe that?
Let's say like how people call themselves a Christian or a Democrat, Muslim, whatever it is, and you move upon the laws that you feel like is necessary, and you operate by Jewish, whatever it is. Basically, the conception of all that in one and developing it on your own, having your own financial structure, your own schooling, your own laws, rules, and regulations that's abiding by the laws of the land, but also your own laws are recognized by the government in which you live.
The supreme law of the land, right? Not these bullshit statutes and municipalities, the supreme law of the land.
Exactly.
Common law. And
common
I heard
law.
Kiwan talking about it earlier, where realistically, we're all humans born with inalienable and unalienable rights. Ain't no fucking crime if there ain't no injured party. But you can't enforce that if you're not in your proper status. And Kiwan is showing you right now the Universal Declaration on Human Rights. This is a book that we all need to have and or be familiar with. I know people like Picasso are intrigued by this type of knowledge because he, like me, like many of us on this podcast, are people that gravitate toward mogul minds, are people who seek truth, and it does objective truth, not like we see Bruce. If Bruce tells us he's an 8-year-old girl, none of us have to actually believe that. But there is universal truth. Bruce, I don't believe that you're an 8-year-old white girl. I just don't, sir. I'm sorry. I know that that's how you feel on the inside, but I don't believe it.
Hey, if it don't apply, let it fly. You feel me?
That was so smooth.
We're gonna reestablish that saying.
Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all some shit. This guy sued the government because he told them he identified as a white lady, a white woman. You know what I'm saying? Or in that regard, like, you know, like, don't treat me like a nigga, treat me like white. And they didn't know what to do. He fucked up the whole process of the way they did their gut. Like, they didn't even know how to really approach him because they're like, can we treat him like a nigga? Like,
So one of my friends made that joke. She's like, all right, if this is how we're playing it. And she's like a Yugoslavian woman, you know what I'm saying? Like older Yugoslavian woman. She's like, look, if that's how we're playing it, I'm a pissed off black woman who has no accent in America. You know, like she's like, all right, that's what
I can tell you're a pissed off black woman, dude.
Well, she
not me. I was talking about this lady I know.
Oh, yeah, no, I can tell you're a pissed off black woman.
All right.
Hey,
so what you
Vino,
should have said was, I identify as a U.S. citizen. That's simply put.
Yeah.
No, as an American national.
Oh, there we go.
So, hey, Vino.
Indigenous American. And I got a little governmental thing where they actually acknowledge, like, it's actually in their paperwork as Indigenous American. A state national. I'm gonna look at it right now.
No,
I'm gonna look at it right now. Give me 1 second.
I'm trying to hear the question, bro, but I can't hear it.
Yeah. So Vino, while he's looking for that, I wanted to talk about y'all light skinned king, right? He said that Drake dropped some heat this week, and then Picasso and Prophet.
I didn't even bring him up, bro. You brought him up, but
the six guy been going crazy.
The light skinned king been going crazy, huh?
Sis guy he ain't lost a step. He still king. He king, man. You can't.
He still got people writing his music.
He don't.
Hey, I heard DJ Drama leaked that shit because Drake fucked his girl.
Niggas need to quit being so fucking lame about niggas fucking they bitch.
They having a light skin war.
Whoa! Hold the fuck on for one.
Wait a minute, was they homies? It's not the same if it's your homie, bro. Like 100,000 niggas can run through my DM, but like when my mans do it, it's like, damn, bro, you was over here with my kids. You went over my
still though, bro. Don't do no
my son laptop and shit.
Bro, do a man thing, and if you really that hurt about Drake fucking your girl, go beat his ass, bro. What you gonna leak his music for?
You gonna get sued, bro.
Hold on, wait a minute. He had his music to leak. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta look at the game.
I'm pretty sure DJ Drama can leak a lot of nigga shit.
Yeah, but Drake the one that fucked him over. It wasn't everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
How he fuck him over? Because he fucked his girl?
Yeah, that's on his girl though.
Was they home?
Yeah, that's on his girl. So you telling me what did DJ Drama leak? What did he leak about his bitch?
Wait, I don't know. I don't know the situation.
No, he didn't leak nothing about his girl. He just leaked. He leaked the fact that Drake had writers.
I bet he didn't leak nothing about his girl. He gonna attack Drake.
Everybody knows Drake got other writers though. Like, is that a big surprise?
The nigga she willingly fucks.
Hey, let me ask y'all though, like, do you guys think how come that only applies in hip hop where like it's not okay to have writers?
Who said that?
Just think about how hard guys have to work to get to where they at.
Please get this first, Bruce. Please.
Who said that?
Take it right to you. The art of real rap and real hip hop came from being creative. Artist. It's called being an artist. You were supposed to write your own shit. Now,
the first major rap song was plagiarized, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, is the only way of showing your artistry by doing it like alone? Like, why can't you show your artistry?
Wait a second. Hold on. Wait, I wasn't finished. What I'm saying is that's how it started. After it got monetized, people start making money in all type of different ways, including ghostwriting, right? That's an avenue to get money off of this new thing that we're getting money off, right? But when you compare artists, see, we had a talk like this, I think 2 weeks ago, about who's a better artist and this and that. When you got an artist who got ghostwriters according to the original definition of what opened the door for this shit. No, you don't compare to somebody that wrote their own shit and was able to present their blood, sweat, and tears versus somebody who can buy lyrics off Hov or Kanye or whoever the fucking Big Daddy Kane, whoever it is, they can go back to an OG and
But
get
that wasn't what Drake was doing.
No, I'm not saying nothing about Drake. He asked a specific question about the industry, and I want to be clear about like how I feel and how I think a lot of other people feel when they bring up these conversations.
So
about
this how I feel. If it's different categories when it comes to especially spitting, right? If it's different. Like, are you finna tell me?
Hey Vino, real quick, just so people know why you speaking like why it has a different level of credence here, because you are a person who not only raps, not only record, not only is a recording artist like the gentleman from One Light, but you also are a person who has written for other people, correct?
I actively ghostwrite right now.
Okay. I just wanted
Why is that so looked down upon, bro? I don't
wait,
get
if a
that.
person, would you let a person you was ghostwriting for tell you how much better they are than you?
Bro, let me tell you something. It's happening right now to me.
Oh, word.
See what I'm saying?
He on the internet talking about some, and I'm watching this page. Oh, I heard niggas talking about some. They was writing my raps, and yeah, well, come prove it, and all this other shit. And I just gotta sit there and be quiet because I'm like,
see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking. No, hold on, bro. You
I'm
don't
like,
gotta sit tight, bro. That's some bullshit
Watch
right
out.
there.
No, I do, bro.
My mama,
I
if y'all
do.
use our name, y'all gotta pay.
Nah,
we got
bro.
own state. Man, we got to own a lot of shit. We about to take
from a
shares in a whole lot of
perspective.
businesses that's operating over here illegally playing games. On my soul. On my soul, bro.
All right, so listen.
I got him.
So from a writer's perspective, number one, I don't ghostwrite because people ask me to. I do it because I enjoy it. You get what I'm saying? So it's a thing.
Bars like that.
Not even just that. I didn't ghost. I didn't ghost
taken
wrote some
away from your
R&B.
creativity. You're the art. When they spitting that shit, you are the artist. They're spitting your blood.
No, I'm not. No, let me tell you. This is a perfect example, right? Now, one of the sectors in hip hop I'm heavily like ghostwriting in right now is battle rap. Okay, I ain't gonna throw no names out there, no shit like that. But me personally, bro, I'm too immature to battle rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of them niggas get to talk about my dead auntie or my daddy that just had cancer. I'm a kill that nigga on that stage, bro. Literally. You know what I'm saying? So if I decide to put together 2-3 rounds to a nigga that's gonna keep his composure, put on the performance, do all the moves that go with it, add his little sprinkle of touch to it, and that shit pop, I'm proud of that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying you should hate. What I'm saying is you are the artist. He's bringing that's like, bro, you know, that's like a nigga rapping Tupac on stage and get money for it.
We're both the artists, bro. So it's like we're both the artists. It's just like a nigga writing a movie. The actor is just as much as the artist as the nigga who wrote it, and vice versa.
Bro, that's what I be talking about. Like, I don't understand why there's this whole thing about like, oh no, just because you're making music and you cannot be considered the best if you got helpers.
No,
here come I trying to save Drake as usual.
No. Hey, look, you want to know what I think about that whole Drake ghostwriting?
Hold on, wait. I cut Bruce off. Bruce, I'm really interested in what my fault. I ain't trying to. Bruce, I cut you off. I want to know what you got to say on this topic, bro.
All right, I'm gonna just say this about Drake. I definitely respect his musical element that he brings, but he was introduced to us as an actor. That means he can act as a rapper too. You know, that's the same thing. Like, so I'm not always blown away by Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like, really. But,
the thing is, like, I don't think you can compare artists who do have ghostwriters with artists that do write their own stuff. I think they're kind of in their own
a lot of these, bro. You would be surprised.
Hey,
you would be surprised about how many of these niggas have ghostwriters, bro.
Hey,
a lot of these niggas.
I'm gonna break it down for y'all.
Even if you write all your own
Vino,
stuff.
to your point. Hold on, guys. Vino, to your point, I think you're 100% correct, and people would be surprised because they don't understand how minuscule of an influence you can have that'll get you a writer cred.
Right.
If Picasso is in the studio right now and he recorded some shit. And I'm like, nah, bro, if you just say this one word different, it'll hit a little bit harder. And then he like, you know what? I fuck with that shit.
Hey,
I wouldn't mind the writing credit on that though. You know what I mean? And also, I think that's kind of different from ghostwriting. Like just that's collaborating.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's considered a ghostwrite.
This is a Kanye loving podcast.
Guys, look.
This is a Kanye loving show right here. And Kanye
All
got
this shit he
ghostwriters,
just
bro.
said is considered a fucking
I just
ghostwrite.
think
We talking about Drake,
judge
bro.
who the best artist is. I think you need to take 2 tracks that are completely done by them. You know what I mean? Like what you have to have the right level, the right means of comparison.
That's
like
what I'm
2
saying.
songs
It gotta
only.
come all 100% equal ground. You can't
So a
give
nigga gotta make the beat too? I gotta make the
Yeah,
beat
no,
too?
or that's
No,
what
listen,
I'm
I
saying.
want people
Or
100.
even if you wrote all your own stuff, you still need somebody like probably to make the beat or somebody to engineer for you.
Or you just have
a collaborative process.
Don't always
Y'all gotta draw the line all the way across now.
No,
If y'all
in this
gonna do that.
situation-
No.
The only person you would have battle Kanye is fucking Dr. Dre. Because he's the only person damn near at an even ground level
I agree.
Can hold weight with what we're asking for in terms of velocity.
When the last time you think Dr. Dre made a full beat?
Wait a second.
Dre is not fucking with you.
No,
Dr. Dre ain't made a full beat since motherfucking Doggy Style, nigga.
He's the only person who could do that.
I know so.
Wow.
You would have to take songs by them. Like if they didn't make the beat, you would have to do a song where this rapper didn't make the beat and this rapper didn't make the beat. You just judging off bars and shit, you know, or songs like that.
There's
You
so
have
many
a
different
really
aspects.
strategic ass category. Like
Picasso,
give them the same song, same fucking.
Hold on. Darrell, hold on. Your opinion is values, Picasso. Darrell, your opinion is values. But real quick, while we're on the podcast, because I know a lot of you guys were not when we initially did this conversation. Vino, could you take literally just 45 to 75 seconds real quick and tell people your fucking problem with Meek Mill? Because I find it hysterical. And I know that Bruce and Henry also found it hilarious.
Listen,
Vino, please just
since we're
tell
talking, nigga, it's crazy how all roads leads to this bitch assness. So listen, because this it's funny how he is relevant in this topic too, as far as ghostwriting. So bam, you bitch ass nigga, what you did was, bam, you was in your feelings about Drake and Nicki. You know what I'm saying? You thought they was fucking around.
Yeah, I got you. I'm putting it together. I'm writing a declaration and everything. But we gotta.
Hey, come on, mute yourself, bro. Thank you.
So bam. So Nicki was embarrassing the nigga. She called the nigga out in the store. She mentioned Drake's name. Drake ain't had nothing to do with nothing. Nothing. He in Canada somewhere chilling on top of some shit. So then what you did was take your goofy ass to Twitter. Don't compare me to a nigga that don't write his own raps. Nobody was ever comparing you to Drake, bro. Nobody. The only motherfucker that was doing that was your bitch. And you get on Twitter and just out him like that. Oh, he don't write his own raps. Don't compare me to him. Come on, bro. We didn't say that. She did. You tell her that. So man, you just that's some bitch ass girl ass shit. You know what I'm saying? That nigga be acting like a little girl, bro.
I don't know, Vino. I think a lot of females got a lot more heart and balls than that.
Man, listen, bro. This nigga's a bitch, bro. Nicki was fucking him. He wasn't fucking her.
I genuinely feel like you want to stay with me. Like you want to square up with me.
That nigga can't. You see how that nigga built? I beat the holy dog shit out that nigga.
This man Vino got some pure hatred for this man.
I can see it in his eyes, bro. I can see it all in the nigga eyes, bro. A nigga eyes and his eyebrows and tell you if he a goofy.
Hey Vino. Hey, Henry's not on the podcast right now, right? But we've talked about this in studio a lot of time. His younger brother, Henry, and his brother are shorter Mexicans, and they happen to have Napoleon complexes. Now, don't get me wrong. By no means are they going in any situation. They not going. But one time we were at my crib, and I was in my room with my girl. Me and Henry used to be roommates, for those of you guys who don't know. And his brother was outside the room with a couple of guys, and I heard them talking. And his brother, this guy was saying, shout out to our sponsors over at Tontor 5959 West Elston. Shout out to the homies at Cuts by Sean, official Chicago Bears barber. But one of the guys that was at our crib was kind of sneak dissing. Not what we would consider sneak dissing, but in the barber world, it was sneak dissing because he was like, this nigga be pushing niggas' linings back. And Henry's brother, his name's Will, shout out to the homie. And I heard him from within the room. Me and my girl are sitting in the room laughing. And he like, no. Dude asked him, do you want to hit the blunt? He's like, I don't even smoke weed, nigga, but I'm going to smoke your shit. And then he told him, so it got to the point where I had to take him out of the crib. Henry was like, hey, bro, please drive my brother home. And his brother told him, like, yeah, I just wanted the nigga to know he's a bitch. And I know because I can smell the bitch on him. And that's how, like, Vino was just talking about me.
Man, what? That nigga, man, I ain't never met the nigga I smell a bitch on him. Every situation, every time I see you in a situation, your voice get all high, your hands go in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like the only nigga you want to get tough with is DJ Academics. He was a goofy.
And he let 6ix9ine cap off on him, Joe. I'm done.
Hey,
6ix9ine capped off on him. Like his ass a lame.
That's crazy.
All right, we're gonna leave the Meek Mill topic alone. I just wanted y'all to hear
I love that. Hey,
don't worry.
Vito got some
I hope you see this shit one day.
Hey, you never know. Hey, we'll push this as its own segment. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you what he gonna do.
Cut this clip out, and we gonna run an ad on this segment.
What he gonna do? If I ever get on or we ever in the same place, he gonna watch every last one of these bitches, hear everything I'm saying, and he gonna ask to do a song with me because he's a because he a bitch.
You know the rapper Prince Easy. Prince Easy.
Yeah.
Man, that's the nigga you need to link with. Talk to him. Y'all have a conversation about Meek Mill for real.
He don't like Meek either.
That nigga Meek stole his flow in the beginning of his career.
See what I'm saying? See,
like Drake did to Big Soldier.
Contagious bitch assness. His bitch assness is contagious.
Yeah. All right. So look, can we talk about that? Are we going to acknowledge the fact that Drake stole Big Soldier's flow in the door?
No, but it all goes back to the same point, right? The whole ghostwriting shit. Even that, he was influenced. He liked it. He took that one bar and then he spit his own shit after. Is it not a fact? Hold on.
Do not minimize it. He took a cadence also.
That's fine. Yeah. I'm not saying he wasn't inspired, but look.
He took a cadence also.
It all goes back to what Bruce said. He's an actor rapper. He will act like a good rapper, and yeah, you might enjoy
I never seen Degrassi ever.
Me either.
Me either, bro.
It never came on no TV. What it come on? BET?
It used to come on the noggin. Like you had to have digital cable, bro.
Hey, while we on hip hop,
I remember the noggin.
Hey, I can't lie.
While we on the topic of rap and shit, Vino, are you coming to the concert on 420? I got your name on the flyer.
Bro, listen, bro. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm trying 1,000% to be there on 420. 1,000
for sure.
1,000%.
All right, bet. We got a concert. Get tickets at OneLightRecords.com right now.
Yeah.
Hey, side note, OneNote and Mogul Minds are solidifying our partnership for everlasting growth. And one of the many things you'll be able to do is go to, hopefully it'll be unilateral, it'll happen on both ends, but one of the many things you'll be able to do, if you need to book studio time, if you just need a fucking beat for an intro to your podcast, if you just need a fucking beat because you got a fire ass TikTok video and you don't want them pulling your shit down for copyright, you need to hit up One Light. And one of the best ways to find One Light is to go to mogulminds.net, hit our partners page, and there's going to be a link to One Light Records website. And you can either hit us up or hit them up, and we're going to make it fucking happen. But these young Caucasoid cats are killing the goddamn fucking game. And there's some, you know what you call them last week? Some of the hardest fucking artists coming up out of the city.
Hey, I love y'all. Because for real, Nah, like they dead ass serious. I don't really say it like I was telling them last week. I don't really say it a lot about too many up and coming artists because I'm an artist myself. I know a lot of niggas that rap and I've been, but as far as like what's going on right now, not even that. They got old school flavor too, bro. Let's make them dope. So if y'all keep going, and promote y'all shit in the right places, bro, it's literally nothing that's gonna stop y'all from getting on.
Vino, y'all got some stuff up. I want to see. Can I check some stuff out?
Nothing.
We actually creating a flag for this nation as well. So I'm looking for some diverse type of art. Well, it ain't gonna be too
Kiwan, two people on this podcast you need to link with, Bruce and One Light. You need to link with both of them to get the imagery right and to get the sound right. You need to link with Bruce and you need to link with One Light. You need to link with both of them because the culmination between your ideas and their artistry is gonna take that shit to the next level. And they're all cold in their own right. Oh,
right.
The image that you're looking at is my virtual background. This cold ass fucking image of Kanye with these nasty ass fucking Cuban links on was done by Bruce.
I did that.
Isaiah, your audio sounds really bad right now.
You gotta fix your audio, Playboy.
Yeah, you sound terrible.
I'm in the bathroom right now because
I'm alternating mic.
Hey,
you taking craps and shit.
I did it in like an hour and a half. But yeah, I could definitely hook up a flag, bro. I was just working on like this little African design, this logo shit. Like, so I got like these patterns in my head that I've been fucking with. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll fuck with you on the flag.
I've never seen a black and white flag.
Yeah, me.
That's crazy. That's interesting. I never seen one either.
Look at the Belizean flag.
I wonder why not.
It gotta be one.
Let me tell y'all why you've never
the pirate flag.
Let me tell you guys why you've never seen a black and white flag. The reason that you've never seen a black and white flag is because a flag's colors represents the struggle that is up.
True, I think you need to fix your mic still.
Honestly,
Isaiah, you sound terrible, bro.
Police is red and blue.
Yeah.
Yo, there is
a lot of flags. I don't see no black and white one though.
All right, let's get it. I was just saying, bro. I've never seen no black and white. Like
they got the more light black brother and the black brother.
Hey,
that's the other thing. You want a flag to be noticeable. You want a flag to be noticeable. You know what I'm saying?
But I think that the flag should represent what's noticeable rather than be what's noticeable.
Right.
I think
everything on the flag gotta mean something.
I get that, but it's like the Laos flag. It's not the same. The Laos flag that you guys see right now, all right, it's like a stripe. It's got 3 stripes: blue, red, blue, and then there's a white circle in the middle. That wasn't the original flag. The original flag was red, and it had 3 elephants. It's called 3-headed elephant. It's Samhansang. All right, that's what it's called in Laos. But it got changed through government or whatever bullshit it was. But when I went to Laos in 2004 and was walking around, my dad was bringing around his neighborhood and whatnot. They had the old USSR flags still posted in certain houses.
Hey, David, tell people where Laos is because a lot of people have never heard of Laos.
Laos is dead in the middle of Southeast Asia. If you know where Thailand is, if you know where Vietnam is, if you know where Cambodia is, if you know where Mongolia and China is, Laos is right in the middle.
If you ever watch King of the Hill and you know his Asian neighbor, he's Laos.
But that's not a typical Laotian name because a short Laotian name is very uncommon because it's got 10 letters plus. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Vietnamese.
Hey, David, we went to high school with a girl whose last name was 17 letters and it ended in porn.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I remember her name.
Saying.
It was Chatsaran Kanchanradinpan.
Yeah, that's exact. Yeah, that's a typical Laos name right there. Yeah. It's not short. You know what I'm saying?
We are the United Nations around this fish. Mobile mind is
bro.
Mogul Minds is the United Nations. One Light Records is the people who write our, like the niggas who wrote that Bomb Spurs thing in there. Fuck them weak ass niggas. We got One Light Records in this bitch. Whoever designed the flag, fuck that weak ass nigga. We got Bruce.
I need to
Wash my hands.
I need to be an honorary One Light member.
Oh, for sure.
All right,
bro.
bet. Let's get it.
Honorary.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly, bro. If ever you need beats, anything, I got you, bro.
I already got a lot of profit. I got a lot of profit beats.
Hey,
so
I'll be
hard
mixing
to
and mastering
believe,
too, so I got you. I won't.
It's so
just
hard
send it
to
over.
believe that Dan is as soulful as his music is because of how he sounds. Like, and then he just like he literally looks like default white guy number 3. Like he cannot help it. He just looks like that. But
No,
none of
facts.
that shit matters because this nigga's one of the coldest fucking producers of any age in Chicago. He just also happens to be fucking 18 years old. But these two
Agreed.
Caucasian gentlemen are two of the coldest, most soulful niggas that are out here. Right now.
I don't know how we managed to do that one.
Yeah, for real. That was some powerful words. Dang.
Y'all have
any gratitude, sir.
Man, keep going hard, man. I'm definitely rocking with the shits for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, me and Dan had a freestyle session the other night.
Yeah, he told me about that.
Yeah, man, we was in and out the little stems. And
I had
shit,
heard
bro.
some new shit that I've been making.
Matt. Hey, Matt, when
That
you gonna
shit's
come in
pressure,
and lay
man.
some bars down, Matt? Matt, we want to hear those Kangen bars. We want to hear some.
Yo.
We want to hear some Kangen
Make it
bars.
Kangen water rap, man.
Or a song, bro.
Kangen
You
water
can sing
rap.
the hook.
I never actually thought of like making a rap song about that. So like, I'd say like, give me some time on that. If anything else,
I will make a beat for you. I will make a beat specifically for you for free. You come by the studio recording.
Hold on. Spagasso, this is what we do. Since Vino's a ghostwriter and Matt is not a rapper, if Matt gives Vino all of the specifics, Vino should be able to write on 16.
Yo, I got a beat for him. I got a beat that I made. Bro.
I hear this is what we're gonna do, and we're gonna put this part of the podcast in the music video, right? All right, look. So Bruce is gonna make the album art for it. Vino gonna write it. I'm gonna produce it. Me and Prophet gonna produce it, and then Matt's gonna rap it. And then Isaiah, you could direct that shit because you be on your director shit. So let's.
I'm fucking with that.
Hey, they call
Who did
me
I leave
Steven
out?
Spills nigga. They call me Steven Spills nigga.
Uh-huh.
Fuck Steve Spielberg.
idea,
Steven
though.
Spills nigga.
I'm not gonna lie.
Man, we about to get you a real endorsement with Kangen himself.
Oh,
Shit.
hey, I
Hey,
when you go back in,
Although there are other songs that, yeah, they put Kangen water, or like they literally mentioned Kangen water. I should send Isaiah some of the YouTube videos about it. Like,
Hey, bro, you're gonna go
Matt,
viral
one
on
more
TikTok.
time because the
You're
guys
gonna go
weren't
viral
on the
on TikTok for
podcast
sure.
yet.
You gotta make
Hold
that
on, guys.
shit go hard, bro.
Hey, guys, hold on one second. Hey, Matt, one more time. Could you tell all the guys on the podcast, out of the celebrities who have publicly endorsed Kangen water, who do you know of?
What the fuck is Kangen water?
who publicly endorsed. I did not hear that the first time you asked this, but Big Sean is one celebrity that come off the surface. He's a rapper, absolutely he loves it and talks it publicly. As from my understanding. And
who else?
Oh,
Matt?
and Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart.
True.
Those are both
Comedian
generally
Kevin Hart.
healthy guys.
Hey, Matt, Big Sean, Kevin Hart, Janae Aiko, Tom Brady. Who else?
Oh, and Stephen A. Smith, like the one
They all
by
seem pretty healthy, man.
ESPN. He mentioned Kangen water.
Vino asked, "What is Kangen water?" Could you please tell him while everybody's on the podcast?
Yeah. If you said it, I missed it because I'm working simultaneously.
Kangen
bro,
water.
so I might have missed it.
The word Kangen or Kangen. That's the proper way to pronounce it. It's Japanese for return to origin. Water, like as it should be, it tastes very, very clean, pure. That's how it's supposed to be originated.
Matt, in its natural state, water the way that we're supposed to drink it is supposed to heal us, correct?
Correct.
And it's at exactly 7
Still can't make any
pH
health
level.
claims, but
It's like neutral.
it can improve our overall health. That's word it that way.
I had some
Water
water
in
like
general
that.
improves your health, so it's a
Yeah,
factual
no, listen. I had some water like that in Iraq, and it was just
Vino,
I'm gonna
people
keep
don't know
going.
why
I
you're
gotta
saying that.
I gotta bust a
explain? Vino, could you explain to people why you've had experiences in Iraq?
I was part of the infantry.
You were part of the infantry of what?
The army.
The U.S. See, I know.
Yeah, I know how you was trying to.
Where were you stationed at?
Yeah, exactly. My question sounds like they're clickbait or I'm trying to confuse you, but that's not it. People just don't know that you're a fucking entire veteran on this podcast.
Yeah, but back to what I was saying about that water though. It was just regular. It didn't have a name. They used to just have it on these pallets, like in random, because it was so fucking hot. So the water just used to be in like random places. You know what I'm saying? You just see a 1,000 bottles of water just in a random ass place. You just grab one and you know that's your water.
Hey, Vino, how accurate was the movie War Dogs?
I don't think I seen War Dogs.
I just seen that. That's a fucking art. I don't know about. I mean, it looked accurate, but contractually and how contracts work, international trade works, that shit was brilliant, and it put a lot of perspective.
Nah, but
this book right here, Denzel. Right here.
As far as accuracy, a lot of those movies, like no matter how extreme they get, it's always worse over there. So it's never really that accurate.
So I say that to say, Vino, as a United States military, because we have some patriots who I know for a fact watch our podcast, and we're figuring out a way to create a universal promo code for anybody who can prove they're military, because we feel like I genuinely feel like military people should not pay taxes. I think that it's fucking wild that a nigga who was willing to die for his fucking country would have to pay taxes.
If you think about it, it wasn't just that. Them same people that suiting up in uniform and going overseas is fighting for the American way, which is taxes. That's what we.
Now here's where I disagree with you, Vino, because what the people are fighting for is the American way, but what they believe that they're fighting for is more important than what they actually are fighting for, and what they believe.
We don't know. No one knows, bro. Like we talking about what we believe we fighting for. We don't believe nothing. We don't believe shit.
Philosophy when it comes to war.
That's the only way you really make it over there. It's not about the American way. We don't give a fuck about that. All we care about is coming home.
Basically.
You sound like every cop to ever put on a badge.
Yeah, bro.
All we care about is coming home. We don't give a fuck about the American way. We don't care what the reason is. Motherfuckers just trying to stay alive. We just seen woo get blew up like 2 weeks ago. We don't want to get blown up. We try to figure out how to not get blown up, bro.
Man, you sound like a nigga in the streets.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Vino, what's worse? I've been watching this show 60 Day In. Have you seen it before?
Nah.
Oh,
it's a show.
bro,
It's a show.
That is the funniest shit out, bro.
What it's on?
I
don't watch
on
Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Tell them about the show, bros.
Man, all right, the show about like motherfuckers voluntarily going into the jail cell, bro. Like they signed up for the show. I'm pretty sure some people in their family know that they doing.
I
this
know
shit.
what you talking about. Yeah, and they living there for like a month or some shit.
Yeah, 60 days, bro.
Oh my
It's
soul.
this one dude in there, his name Abel, bro. The man.
Oh my God, Bruce! I'm so glad you brought this nigga up.
Bro,
hey,
this
so,
nigga.
You know, look, this nigga is a reformed gang member who spent 14 years behind bars, but now he legitimately is not on that no more.
So wait, he went back?
He went back, bro.
Not only
he went back, bro.
Hold on, Bruce, hold on. Not only did this nigga go back, one of the first days that he's in jail, you know, they're in Arizona, and you know,
in Arizona, in a lot of states,
Them jails down there fucked up.
hold on, race run the jail. So not racist. Everybody has to stay. It don't matter if, like, I'm gonna put Chicago examples on this so people understand, our listeners.
I hate to be locked up
Nah,
somewhere in fucking
the
Arizona.
show
That shit was
for the
suck.
for the sake
My
of the
mom
show, they
fucking
refer
got
to the
locked in
gangs as
Arizona a
race,
few
bro.
times.
Right.
That shit was
She
Hold on.
fucked by the system.
So Bruce,
She got a warrant.
tell me when I'm wrong, Bruce. Tell me
Nah,
when I'm
yeah,
wrong.
for the sake of the show, they refer to the gangs as race.
Bruce, tell me when I'm wrong. So for the course of what people have to understand is the jailing system is very different from out on the street. And in Chicago, it's one way because we got a ton of Black and Hispanic people, but not every state is like that. So in other states, not only does the Aryan Brotherhood run shit, but you go somewhere like Arizona where you're in a border state, in a place like that, the cartel runs shit. And you could call it the Mexican mafia, you could call it the Mexican gangs, you can call it what the fuck you want to call it, but the cartel runs that shit. So this dude who used to be he spent 14 years behind bars. He was a Latin King, but he was a New York Latin King. He gets in jail, and one of his first days in jail, a Black homie tells him like, hey bro, you give me a haircut, I'm gonna give you a haircut. And for niggas who have been in jail, there's a few of them on this podcast. For niggas who have been in jail, you understand how if racists run the game, that could create a problem. So where the problem comes into play is this young Black dude wants to talk crazy to this OG Hispanic dude. So the Hispanic dude tells him like, all right, cuz you want to keep talking shit, come upstairs and go in the room with me then. And then they get upstairs in the room, and this Hispanic dude who's literally supposed to be undercover, he's not supposed to cause attention to himself. He smacked fire off this nigga. Like, smacks fire.
Smack the dog shit out that man. Not only did he do that, bro.
Bruce, am I exaggerating?
No, bro, you're not. You couldn't really see it because it was behind a brick wall.
So wait, it ain't no rules. They can get physical and shit in there.
Nah, it was motherfuckers thinking about getting into it with him, but they was like, no, we got to stay with our race type shit. You feel me? So they put this.
There's rules, but the rules only matter so much when you got to survive for 60 days. So
I'm just saying though, like, so basically,
they be doing drugs, they be committing crimes in jail. They be doing drugs. You know how in jail people will cheat their pills? They supposed to do the pills. They just put them in their cheek and then go back to their cell and save them.
Who is these people that's going in there doing that?
Regular ass people, bro.
They look like they belong in jail, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. They look like they belong in jail.
Them
they chose the right
niggas
show.
missed that shit.
Hey, but not only did he smack the shit out of Buddy, he was putting him in violation too, like he not part of the show.
Oh wow.
I'm talking about he had motherfuckers put hands on him and everything, bro. What the fuck?
Hey, Kiwan, question, sir.
Hell no.
Now, Kiwan, now that you know the concept of the show, for anybody on this podcast, so this question is for Kiwan and Darrell. Do you think that a show like 60 Days In could exist in Cook County Jail?
No.
Why not?
Because you're going to get did too dirty, bro. You're going to get did way too dirty.
How do you mean?
But, I mean, it depends. But, like, it's going to be hard to hide that shit.
Trust me, for sure.
It's going to be hard to hide that shit,
bro.
When they come in there with some cameras, niggas don't know what's up. Everybody going to get rescreened again.
They gonna be like, who the fuck is doing what's going on? The police doing weird shit. It's a real strict motherfucking program, and we all kind of the people who's sitting in that motherfucker right now are real. They grooved in, so it's gonna be hard to slip some shit like that past a motherfucker. Even in the dorm room.
In the county, it's a such thing as overkill in the motherfucker. That's how they refer to when they overly beat the fuck out of you. You feel me? Like. So it's just the degree and how they get down. Hell no, that show would not happen, bro.
So Bruce, Kiwan, and Darrell, there's a show that I would like to get off the ground, and I've maybe talked to one or two of you about this, but not all of you at once. I would like to do a show called Anonymous Gang Stories. And what I would like is for people who are no longer in the lifestyle or people who are trying to get out of the lifestyle, be able to anonymously tell the stories that they've gone through within the Chicago gangs and the Chicago penal system. And I think that each one of you could very much help us get that goal off the ground.
Man, I could write a fucking. I done wrote novels. I wrote novels behind the motherfuckers. I done wrote urban novels. I got out of. We read so many urban novels and so many stories. Like that shit, you can fill a fucking Federal Reserve vault with stories. God damn it, a motherfucking, like the walls tell stories in that motherfucker. You ain't been in that motherfucker an hour and you read 7 books already just off the shit on the walls. Who been there and who was where and who into it with who, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, whoa, shit, motherfuckers really like communicate. And man, they one of the myths really like is to not write your name on the walls, even because when you get in the rooms and shit, you write your name on the wall, bro. It's like you kind of like, man, I'm coming back type shit.
You feel me?
You feel me? You signing in. And that's when motherfuckers getting that bitch tagging. And sure enough, you been ran into a nigga who's, man, this shit crazy, bro. That jail network is just like college. And it's run like similar to school systems, man, to be honest. It's
you know what that tells me?
You
know that tells me, Kiwan, and I don't know how much research you've done.
Out the girl.
You know what that tells me, Kiwan, and I don't know how much research you've done, but that tells me that the American Prison Industrial Complex is a Freemason organization.
All organizations are Freemason. Freemason ain't nothing but government building. Okay, it's just people who build government.
I disagree.
That's one of the, that may be when you talk about degrees, and we talked about degrees earlier, and that's one of the foundational principles of 5%. I classified as that. Now I practice the concepts and ideologies, and one of the main ones is understanding the degrees. And Nikola Tesla was big on degrees of 3s too. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding.
Hold on, hold on, Kiwan. Don't move that. We don't do that on this podcast. We cannot mention Nikola Tesla's name without fucking giving that man the credit that he is doing.
Man.
We believe
he be the guy. He be the guy.
It's Nicky, baby. This is man. That nigga was the truth, baby.
Real Slavic nigga. Real Slavic nigga.
But whatever reason or another. But I'm saying that to say he had an obsession. Listen, he had an obsession with 3 and multiples of 3. Like the motherfucker, like he was like ridiculous, but he understood the concept principles.
It wasn't just 3s, bro. It was numerology.
3, 6, 9.
I know it was multiples of it, but that's the foundation of numerology, okay? And it's the foundation of building, okay? It's the foundation of everything. It's the foundation of life. Look, the spirals in our fingers. It's connected to the shapes of the pyramids. It's connected to diameters and dimensions, and it's connected to every fucking thing. So when I say the supreme mathematics, I mean this is like universal math, and it's just it's been broken down. Exactly, and I gotta give this little piece because this is where a lot of my foundational understanding of all these numbers and shit, and where I got from how I studied masonry spiritually. Man, it's close to me. So. And this is like I'm saying, there's so many degrees, and the degrees are in 3. You got knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Think, talk, do. Knowledge is knowing. Wisdom is being able to speak it and make it make sense. Understanding is walking that shit. You know what I'm saying? That is the first level.
Question for you. Understanding, understanding, and overstanding. What do those mean to you?
That is a degree of 3, right? In, over, and under. It's just a degree to the understanding of self. This is the Holy Trinity, my nigga. This is the Holy Trinity of man, and it's conceptualized on all aspects of man in all degrees and multiples of 3. You understand?
I read a book. I read a book by Martin Luther King called The Measure of a Man, and it talk about basically the 3 dimensions of a man. You know what I'm saying? That's just, how you can connect with yourself, how you can connect with the world around you, how you can connect with God.
Absolutely. And it's through a sequential order of 3s: knowledge, wisdom, understanding, think, talk, do. Okay, that's the foundation. Once you master that foundation, and this is me going along with the mathematics, and it's culture and freedom. Okay, this gives you freedom. Okay, the freedom to express your culture. Okay, that is number 4 in the mathematics. The freedom to express your culture develops and gives you its power, which is number 5, which is power and refinement. When you get power, you have to refine it. You have to sharpen your goddamn sword. So you have to, you know what I'm saying? You got to make sure that
what they say, Kiwan, steel sharpens steel.
Absolutely. Iron sharpens iron. Absolutely. And once you establish that power and refinement, it gives you equality. Equality to who? That's 6 is equality. Equality to who? 7 is God. You know what I'm saying? It's the God force. It's understanding the God force within self based on these principles. And understanding that God force gives you number 8, which is the build and destroy. You have the power to build and destroy. You know what I'm saying? That's what God does. God build or destroy.
Hold on, bro. Before you leave build and destroy, I do want to show y'all this. This is what's called ore. This is silver ore. Every day, even today when you came and seen me, Kiwan. Damn, let me turn off my virtual background so y'all can actually see it. None. All right, close. All right, boom. This is silver ore. You see how some parts of it are shiny and some parts of it are rock. This literally is how how silver looks when you mine it out of a wall. When my grandma died, we were going through all her things, and this is what we found. Now, for some reason, I decided I was gonna start keeping it in my pocket when I go around, just in my daily life. I was gonna start keeping the silver ore in my pocket. I don't know why, but here's what I will tell you: 100% fact. I made, since I've been carrying these in my pocket, the first 6 months, I made in that year $10,000 more than the year before. In the next year, which is this year, I'm making $25,000 more than I made 2 years ago. That being said, I don't know. Hey, you could call it superstitious. You could call it religious bullshit. You could call it what you want to call it. But the law of attraction is universal law. We don't control that. That is something that was here before us and will be here after us. Hey, Kiwan, we can't hear you, brother.
Absolutely agree with you on the law of attraction, Isaiah.
Who is that? Okay, Matt. Law of attraction.
This is
your experience. What does law of attraction mean to you, Matt?
Whatever. Well, it's like you said. If you put your mind into it, eventually it will come true or manifest. That's actually how I define it off the top.
Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. This is how you manifest. That's what I was getting to. That's the ultimate culmination.
Action on it on top of that.
Absolutely. And that's what I was getting. That's what all of this culminates to. Mastery of self and understanding those sequences within self. And like I said, I got my little couple crystals. I keep that shit on. I'm saying it's all. I ain't got the numbers.
Kiwan, are you familiar with the tenets of Islam? Not modern Islam, the way the Moors understand it. I, self, law, and mastery.
Man. Yeah, absolutely.
Also, I have a documentary I could recommend. It's called The Secret.
Send that to the group and we're gonna put it.
I read The Secret. I watched the documentary. I did that shit like 4 or 5 times about 6, 7 years ago. Like all that shit. Like it's so much in my fucking in the library that the shit be so crazy, bro. And it's like a culmination of things. And man, shit, I can go all night about all this shit. The Secret, the crystals. Y'all absolutely right. And I'm saying where it starts. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. It's that foundation of 3s. And it was getting up to where I was at, build and destroy. And when you build and destroy, you eventually born, which is number 9, a new cipher. And the cipher represents the next level. And the cipher is 0, which is another degree of 1. Okay, you just start the sequence over, which makes it 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Like you're gonna see the same numbers in sequential order. This is where numbers even came from. And this is why it resonates so well.
Question, Kiwan, Bruce, Vino, Picasso. I want you to answer first, though. Picasso, are you there, sir?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I've been asked on social media on a couple of different occasions. People have asked me, "Hey, bro, do you think that you're woke? Do you consider yourself woke?" And the way that I answer that is, nah, bro. Woke is a pop culture term that has nothing to do with real men out here actually trying to put action to words. Me personally, I feel like woke is some bullshit. Now, 10 years ago, I would have said I'm woke. I would have said 5 years ago, I would have said I'm woke. Today, I think woke is some
pussy bullshit that the fucking Black Lives Matter organization has taken hold of. And this goofy ass bullshit organization, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna get this little 20-second rant off. People will tell me I'm a coon because I don't support the Black Lives Matter organization. My only question is, these bitches took in damn near $1 billion over the last 2 years. I'm a black man in America. Kevon is a so-called black man in America. Bruce is a so-called black man in America. Vino is a so-called black man in America. Terrell is a so-called black man in America. Where the fuck is our check from Black Lives Matter?
I'm only black when the check come out. Like Reparation Day, I will be African American, but up until further notice.
Now, Reparation Day for me, this and like I said, Reparation Day, this is where I'm gonna be at. I'm gonna be one of these people. Indigenous. That's America. And that's the United Nations, indigenous people.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna be wherever the niggas got.
This is where it's at. On my mama, I promise y'all, this is the only way. There is no other way, bro.
I got an unrelated question for all you guys.
Wait, I think I have a dividing question. Like, I honestly believe they're gonna use reparations to steal our rights from us. Like,
no, absolutely, they are.
No, Kiwan, check me out. When they come with the reparations, they're gonna offer them to African Americans. You see what I'm saying? They're not. They're gonna.
They got one of these for people of African ancestry. They adopted a piece that said that included people of African ancestry in this. So it's already there for people of African ancestry as well. It's just about who's going to claim it.
Wait, hold on. It's a reason.
It's probably going to be some digital currency fucking shit once they get rid of the dollar.
Yeah. What I was getting at though is with the African American shit. You see what I'm saying? Because like you said, when they adapt to what I think it's going to depend on what, if it happens, it's going to depend on how, like you said, if you come under the Indigenous Act, you might be on to something. But if you come under the African American Act, you basically still under their claw. Like, no matter how much money they give you, you basically bound by all the shit that you was trying to get away from to get reparations. You're gonna basically spend all
because African American is a legal fiction. What nation? What is your nationality? African American is not a nationality. Okay, that's why they adopted an American Declaration of Rights of people of African ancestry. So they're eliminating those identifications on an international level to send a fucking sign and a symbol to us to stop fucking identifying as that, so we can place ourselves as the law nation states. That's another book. Is how to conduct. Pass me this up in here. How to conduct yourself as a law as a nation. It says once you establish yourself as a state, that weaker state can then place itself under the protection of a stronger state to escape an unequal alliance with this previous state. You know what I'm saying? The unequal alliance is between us and the United States, the corporation. The higher protection is international law. You understand? So this is the blanket. It's all the road is laid out for us. It's a matter of putting the pieces together, conglomerating correctly with the right minds. Because let me tell y'all what we got going. And I told you, we're in a couple of states right now, bro. And I got a buddy in Michigan. Man, listen. The flag is gonna have 13 stars. We're gonna completely mirror exactly what the fuck they did when they filed their Declaration of Independence. You understand? And we're gonna have our 13 founding members, and it's gonna be 13 men representing 13 states and or colonies. And up under us, we're gonna have our constituent states, okay? And we're all gonna make this, gonna come and ratify this one document that's gonna declare our independence. And we're gonna sit this on the table of all the international governments and let them know that the United States been fucking around. You know what I'm saying? And we not happy that it's over with.
When you say states, do you mean like state as in a people, or do you mean state as in Illinois, Indiana?
I'm glad you said that. Illinois. Okay, so the United States, okay, is actually one state that consists of 50 states, okay, 50 smaller states. Okay, which is Illinois, Wisconsin, California, the 51 states, with Puerto Rico. So the United States is actually one state, a nation state that consists of 51 states and or whatever nations and territories that they claim. on some pirate shit, some shit that they took. You understand? So, and that is who they are in the Organization of American States, the drafters of this motherfucking Indigenous Peoples Rights document. You know what I'm saying? And if y'all got y'all phones, pull out y'all phones real quick. Pull out y'all phones real quick, and y'all can look this stuff up real quick.
Yeah.
And it's called the Organization of American States, and they have 35 member states. The United States is one. Okay, the United States is made up of 51 states, which solidify them as a nation. What we're gonna do is gonna be 13 of us. We're gonna be our own individual states, and we're gonna have constituent states that we're all gonna connect and bind, and we're gonna create a nation. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna create the 360. That's what the cipher. You know what I'm saying? That is the cipher in the supreme mathematics. After born, it's the cipher, which is 0, which also is symbolic for 10, which is the restart, which is the next degrees. When you start your next level of degrees, you understand? Like you get your graduation cap. That's what the 0 really stands for, pretty much, is a graduation cap. And that's our graduation cap. We're gonna create that circle. And we got a couple of symbolic reasons for 13. He doing it because of them. I wanted to do something like 9, some multiple of 3. But either way, it's going to be all us men who understand these laws internationally and concepts, and we're going to bring them together, and we're going to ratify the treaty with me. This is the Law of Nations right here. Okay, we're going to use this document. This is the Bible, y'all. This is what builds this. And like you talk about masonry, Freemasonry is just building governments on top of unknowing people. They're pirates. They take shit. They're using legalese and different ways to take shit and building shit on top in between them. The Cook County Sheriff's Office is a fucking a Masonic. All of these fraternities, they're all fucking Masonic. Anything and these different degrees. Like I said, this is the using the powers for evil. You know what I mean? You're using the same power that we're about to rise from the dirt from, and they're using it for evil. You know what I'm saying? It's duality. You know what I'm saying? On a larger scale. You know what I mean? So. This is how we're gonna change the dynamics, because right now, as indigenous people, we are entitled to a share of every single corporation that is operating on this continent. Okay, and there are countries right now that are starving for the resources that we are about to accumulate. So we can go take our ass back to the island. They can hide this fucking Chicago shit, honestly. You know what I'm saying? You can have that whack ass lake, that whack ass skyline. I'll go to the islands and fucking be absorbing the sun on a fucking pyramid structure that I done built that resemble some American pyramids down in Mexico. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, brother. There's pyramids in Illinois.
Absolutely, they're every fucking where. They're everywhere, all through the Americas.
We're not giving up nothing. We're gonna take everything with us when we leave, but we ain't giving up nothing. We did enough of that.
100% facts. We definitely ain't giving up nothing. We definitely not, because we need control of everything. We need a seat. We need to know what the fuck those airplanes spraying out the fucking spraying in the skies across the. I want to know what the fucking. I want control of the military. I want my little homies learning how to fucking fly fighter jets and shit, learning submarine tactics and fucking war. That's what I want. I want to be involved in all that shit. Fuck all this.
I want my money back from all them bogus ass, fake ass, black space operations they got going on, man.
Oh yeah, they're gonna have to turn all that over. We need to know what's going on in Mars. We need I leave my little cousins them up in there looking at the same fucking androids, bitch ass niggas.
I can solve this problem for you right now. Nothing's going on Mars.
I know. We know, and we about to expose it.
That's why we sell our Nah Son shirts right there, because ain't a goddamn thing going on Mars, and I'm upset about it because I used to believe in all that shit. Nothing's going on Mars, I promise you.
They got footage, the same footage.
Mars and shit with a light hologram.
It's Antarctica and all kind of other shit with a tent on the recording. They've been caught doing this shit 30 years.
Darrell, they're called filters now. It's just a red filter.
Hey, y'all, I got to dip out, me and Prophet. So.
Hey, do me a favor before y'all dip. Tell them about y'all latest project. Tell them about y'all show coming up and tell them where to find you.
Yeah, for sure. My phone might die before this, but we got a show coming up on April 20th. We're selling tickets right now.
It's gonna be lit as fuck. OneLightRecords.com to purchase tickets. They're $15. And we smoking up when we there. So join that. We always got music coming out and all that.
Yeah.
You want to say anything, Prophet?
No, just listen to our music. We got a lot of songs out on Spotify.
Man, I want to hear that shit.
And all of that
I want to
stuff.
hear.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, or you could just go to One Light Records on YouTube. That's where all of our artists be posting our stuff.
Hey, I
always more good stuff to come.
Before we end the stream, can you play a One Light Records track with One Light Records permission? One Light, go ahead and give us permission.
Yeah, you got permission for sure.
Much appreciated, brother.
This history though. I like the mark
I'll
dates.
send the track to play.
I like the mark dates and shit, bro. This history.
Please do.
3, 9, 13, 12. That's 12. Multiple of 3.
All right, brothers. So it's
Peace
10
to y'all.
now. We want to wrap ideally in the next 23 minutes. We got a couple of things that we touched base on. For some reason, I thought it would be a good idea to pick Nino Brown to help him flip his Stimmy. He must have forgot the fact that Nino Brown snitched on all his homies. Which, you know, snitch activity is snitch activity.
Actually, he snitched on the dude whose sister was trying to turn him into the government because he was that was his wife, his bitch he was fucking brother, and they was actually trying to set him up the river. So he flipped the script on that. A lot of people say he was snitching, but if you pay attention to what happened, like, was he supposed to just lay down and take everything? Like, hell no, he flipped the script on their ass.
Okay, that's fair.
And he had the records to do it. That's what really was the slap in the face. Like, nigga, you work for the bank. You trying to snitch on me, and you've been doing dirty shit, and they didn't even know you had nothing to do with this shit. You come in this bitch with your sister, trying to send me up the river, think you're going to take over my operation? That got me fucked up.
Hey, Darrell, while you're on topic, do us a favor and tell people what it is that you do in your day-to-day life and the 501c3s that you work with and what your agenda is.
Appreciate that, Izzy. Yeah, I'm a violence prevention program supervisor for Uptown, Rogers Park area and the neighboring areas. I work with One Northside, CP4P, Communities Partnering for Peace. Right now, we just hired somebody. They created the Black Gaming League that reaches out to youth. It's a $1 trillion industry, the gaming industry, and Black people are in control of less than 0.01% of any of that currency. So we have a brother who's actually establishing networking to make these teams and an entire whole game and league process, which just according to certain laws, they have no choice but to allow him in. So I'm real eager to do some of that. Like I said, we work with a lot of different people, React, a lot of different organized community activist organizations to do outreach in the neighborhood.
Man, I wanted to add something to that. That's dope as hell, though, by the way, on the violence prevent on all the projects, because we also had a nonprofit, a 501c4 though, a social welfare organization called FATA, Families and the Affected, and I was building all this. We built that, me and a group of people, right before we started to stumble upon these international laws. I was like, what the hell? This is, you know what I'm saying? Just took precedent. But to go on that note, organizations that we gonna use to sponsor all of the shit that we gonna do once we establish the nation, we absolutely gonna use all our 501. We gonna might as well, and we gonna turn those business licenses over and just, you know, make the action about something bigger. But
I'm gonna link with you later because we actually got a tribe that we created, Kapazaka, copper colored individuals. Basically, we natives. You know what I'm saying? You probably even actually the way you network, you probably bumped into some of my brothers. You know what I'm saying? But the way we operate is we just know off the laws of the indigenous tribes and we did our genealogy. A lot of us went back to as far as our written record goes, and it all led to indigenous bloodlines, which I'm Jamaican and Belizean. I was trying to tell them that from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So I work with a lot of different organizations. Like I said, as far as tribalistic teachings, you know, I'm solid on that because that's what brought me to all the people that I rotate with and everything else I got going on. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely got to, you know, sit down, collab, really put something together Well, last thing I think we, you know what I'm saying, we was working on that we introduced to Mogul Minds was we trying to create a school system, which right now, you know, everybody's doing the digital thing. Before they try and send our kids back to the schools, to zombie world, we wanted to create a platform where all of our kids, no matter what state they was, because we got people in different states too, you know what I mean? We was trying to put the whole tribe together, but it wasn't feasible because people had families and this and that, but we still rotate as best way we can, you know what I'm saying? So we wanted to put a system together where we, you know, knowing the laws, where we would honor the state law for whatever the school system it is, wherever that person was residing in, and we will be able to teach all the electives as far as financial literacy, Black culture, indigenous culture that we didn't get a chance to get in our school, in our own country, in our own neighborhoods. We wasn't afforded that. We want to offer that to kids, as well as, like I say, that opportunity to advance and be knowledgeable about what we've been deprived of. So I want to collaborate with you and see like how far some of your tribes has gotten with maybe, you know what I'm saying, get on this nation building act.
Bro, man, I don't want to cut you off, but I gotta say, you know that the things I just mentioned, when you go, the Organization of American State include all those places that you're saying. So when you're saying you going for the reparations, you can go for the reparations from exactly where the hell you came from and use this exact document and print up the exact same thing. Like it's all, and like I say, we all come from different geographical lore. Because I did my genealogy. My shit come right here, Mississippi. My fuckers up in here in 1700s. My people, my mom and my dad's side.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
Q1, your situation, although it is extremely important to talk about, is not isolated for the simple fact that I did my own family genealogy and I found out the exact same thing. My family came from Mississippi and Tennessee.
I'm saying, broski, that's most of us. That's what classifies us as indigenous people. Okay,
right, Bruce.
Like
Hold on, Bruce. Bruce, your family told you got family down south?
Alabama.
Guarantee you they stole land from your family in Alabama. I guarantee.
Y'all got any of these? They say Indian tribes, but
sharecroppers to slaves in the same documents.
Right.
Facts. Ooh.
They told you your ancestors were slaves, but maybe, just maybe, your ancestors signed a deal and then niggas went back on the deal.
The treaty, what is it? Making deals with the Enemy Act, the treaties with the Enemy Act, trading with the Enemy Act. Trading with the Enemy Act. I think that was one of the big documents. And our people just got swindled out of a bunch of land. We got hundreds of treaties. I don't know if it's thousands, but I know it's a whole shitload of treaties. I ain't even got the treaty book with me. The Law of Nations is this fucking big. The treaty book is twice this size. It's called the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights. Okay, that treaty is about this goddamn thick. And it's talking about everything, man, bro. It's so fucking, but like I said, this is what the revelation, and I already knew this, but it's great to hear that we already went through that process. Because guess what? That's a part of our package. We're going to make that a part of the package. We're going to help people find their genealogy. And when they trace back to where we trace back, guess what? These are people too, motherfucker. Fuck you talking about? These are people too, motherfucker, and they don't even know it. So now we about to gain control of all these trusts, and we're going to usher, we're going to walk. Nigga, we about to part the fucking Red Sea. We about to part the fucking sea. We about to do what Moses did.
While you're on the conversation, can I give people some food for thought? A lot of my friends, Black, Hispanic, white, it doesn't really matter because these are all, like you discussed earlier, social constructs. They're words of art. They're not real tribes, real people. That being said,
you real low right now.
One of the many things that we talked about was
yeah, we need some volumes there.
Genealogy. And genealogy, why it's so important is because are you going to listen to a motherfucker who hates you and everybody who looks like you tell you where your family came from? Who do you think is more trustworthy, Thomas Edison or your grandma? You see what I'm saying? Like, we're looking at things through the lens of colonizers. These people literally colonized our people, subjugated, raped, fucked them over as many ways as possible. And these are the people that we're listening to. But when I go to my family reunion, they said, oh, our people always been here. We don't know shit about that slave story. That's what they told me at my family reunion. So based on American history, the way that we understand it today, I should disregard
what my forefathers, what my ancestors told me, and I should believe the story of white colonizers. Kiwan, you muted, bro.
Can I point something out about in 1830? Okay, it's something called the Indian Removal Act, where they removed Indians from exactly where all our people from. Listen. They removed
Negro.
Okay, I went to the slave plantation. Hold on. Let me get it out. Let me get it out. I know. Let me get it out.
Right before
we went to the slave plantation.
Right before the Dawes Roll census, where white people could pay $5 to become federally recognized Native Americans. He's talking about right before that, what happened. Go ahead, brother.
And when was the Dawes Rolls again?
Late 1800s, I think 1880s.
Okay, yeah, this is a little before this is in 1830. And like I said, I went to the plantation in Louisiana. I went to actually like 2 or 3 plantations. Records. None of the records ever said anything about like many Africans. They was all mulatto Negro, Indian Negro, Black Negro. Like they kind of subjugated us by like everybody was just Negroes. You know what I'm saying? And there was no African American and no like singular term. Every fucking slave was Negro. Every single slave, and they were all different types, different shades. And this is what and this was at the when I was at the slave house, whatever the fuck you call it, the plantation.
Hey, wait. I need you to keep your juices flowing, but we need to understand that the original term for Negro is and was recognized as Native American. It didn't mean nigga. It wasn't a derogatory word. See, black people switched it later on. Like, we don't even want to be called Negro no more. Like, that's y'all. But it was recognized. You were a recognized indigenous person in that time period if they called you Negro. It wasn't derogatory.
Darrell, to your
absolutely
point,
right.
To your point, because I want Kiwan to get his bars off. But to your point, Darrell, it wasn't even just black people that changed it. You got to realize they did an entire psychological operation using people like James Brown to push I'm black and I'm proud, because before that you couldn't get black people, so-called black people, to say that we were black, because if your grandma told you she was Indian, then nigga, you Indian. Because your grandma said none of us question our grandma. Like Ida is Bosnian. I know a lot about Bosnians, and I know goddamn well if his grandma told him we are Bosnian from this tribe, he ain't finna be calling himself white. If you ever pay attention to European people who know their descendants, they don't ever call themselves white. They call themselves European. They call themselves Bosnian. They call themselves Moldovan. They call themselves Irish. They don't call themselves white because
they're indigenous to those lands. But when they get over, but that goes into another thing that they did. They let immigrants that were slaves, like Ireland and fucking Italy, and they let those people in to come and kind of, they built that fucking caste system.
Where do you think the word slave came from?
Slavics.
Slavic people.
Yeah, Slavic peoples. But it, you know, and it just became a term. It was more of an indentured servant. But I'm gonna get into what happened in 1830 with the Indian Removal Act, and where all our people come from in the South. They removed Indians from all these areas. Indians, not these, and they talking about these Siberian motherfuckers now, but back then those Indians was our people, because a lot of our peoples never stopped fighting. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, just so people know that what you're saying is fact. 1828, look up the Webster's Dictionary definition of American, and it will tell you originally applied to one of the copper-colored natives. Copper-colored.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
Same color as a motherfucker.
That's a big one, because that was 1828, just before the Indian Removal Act, where they moved all people from Alabama, Mississippi. We occupied the waters and shit. It's a lot of fucking mounds and shit, and they scattered us all. They scattered people all the way around, right? And in 1831, guess what was incorporated? Cook County. Where y'all get these people from? In 1833, guess what was also incorporated? The city of Chicago. Okay, and this is right after the Indian Removal Act. Now, mind you, this is not even.
I got another add-on for you, bro. Just around that time, I hate to keep cutting you off, but it's like as you're going up the timeline, it be so much shit going on. People not understanding. They just be thinking like shit just always been like this.
To skip past.
Yeah, like bro.
I get it. I swear.
So back then, according to their history, so like motherfucker like to refer to books and what was written down. Is according to their history, they sent more slaves out than in. They got you thinking that everybody came from Africa, and all these black people just is so sad because you see all these black people, you're like, damn, all us came from Africa. But according to their records and everything they recorded and we found in investigated FBI reports, they sent more niggas out of this motherfucker than they ever brought.
And that's why all the ancestry tests say we come from everywhere that they sent our people at. And like when they sent our people, they brought a couple people back. And this go even more back to 1492 with the Moors, because the Moors lost the war at Granada to the fucking in 1492. They lost the war at Granada with the Catholic monarchs, Ferdinand and Isabella. Okay, and they had to surrender their maps and shit. And they came over here with Columbus, motherfucker, the Moors. Okay. And they had to give up what was over here, whatever they knew to the new world, because them niggas was traveling the seas and civilizing people.
Here said, what's his name? Columbus was more likely than not what we would consider black, dirty Moor.
Hey, yo, Muke out of yo, Mike out of there, bro. You gotta give some more volume out of there. I don't even know if people can hear you.
I got my shit hooked up on a tripod, bro. There's like literally there's not a whole lot I could do, and I'm sorry that my audio.
No, I just was letting you know. I didn't know if it was or wasn't. I just was trying to let you know.
I don't appreciate your tone, sir. This nigga laughed my shit right off. What if I had a real problem? Like, I don't. But if I did, this nigga just laughed my shit off like, nigga, shut up. But why I view what they're saying as so important is because at the end of the day, what a lot of people have to realize is, take Matt, for example. Matt is an Asian American man. If Matt, for some reason, if me and Bruce decided to just start writing Matt's history and Filipino history, and then all of our homies write all the books that are in schools, at the end of the day, people are gonna believe what we say to be true. But that has nothing to do with real history. It's just the fact that me and my niggas linked up and wrote some books. We wrote
History is written by the winners. History is written by the winners. And by winners, they made war. They made the standard war. So once they established war, especially amongst the people, and you know what I'm saying, and they had their division tactics were fully in play by kind of, you know, genetically monetize and convincing everyone that we were all fucking different, you know what I mean? When everyone was just different variations and mixtures of all type of fucking shit. And you know, some people stayed on this side of their cast, and they made people stay in their positions by constantly classifying and registering and applying and enrolling and opening accounts and all that shit.
Juan, I got a question for you, sir. In your understanding from what you've researched, who are the Asiatics?
The Asiatic is a term, like I said, it was one that I was real devoted to back 7, 8, 9 years ago, but it's I done kind of you know, averted from it. Not
divested is the word you're looking for.
Yeah, divested. That is the word, absolutely. And but the Asiatic just mean like original. You say who, and it's like I don't know if that question is even applicable to people of today.
You call yourself New Malcolm on Facebook, and I love that name, just so you know. And why I fuck with it so is because one of the many reasons that my Instagram got shut down is because I used to repost all types of shit that was empowerment to indigenous peoples. And one of the things that Malcolm X said was the most dangerous man. He said, there's a lot of white people that are trying to help, but none of them go under the term liberal. And the liberal white man is the most dangerous person on this goddamn planet, because they are the wolf in sheep's clothing. They are the one who will convince you that they are fighting in your favor while also oppressing you. And
I think that was the industry's issue with Malcolm X, because he was sitting here when he was saying hate Whitey, they were cool. But when he said, nah, Whitey's not the problem. The system is the goddamn problem. Understand this system, recognize this system, figure it out for what it is. That's when he became a problem. Just like Michael Luther King. And I know you guys think that I said something wrong there, but I didn't. Just like Michael Luther King. Michael Luther King, he was cool when he was telling motherfuckers to fucking go on these buses and do all this goofy shit. But as soon as he said, no, we want to unite poor people, whites, blacks, Hispanics, all these fictional concepts. We want to unite these people. That's when they killed Michael Luther King. Not when they're talking about separation, but when they are talking about unison. And that is what I feel like Kiwan's and Darrell's biggest points are. People need to understand that these people are playing games with us. We don't need, it's like 3D chess. And we don't even know that we're playing the game when everybody else is running laps around our stupid asses. That's the way that I view it today. To help me understand where you guys think that I might be a little bit different from your opinions.
No, I think you're right on point. And I like that you pointed out Michael. But I was also curious as to why he changed his name. And this is why this where all these fucking conspiracy, the Boulets and Illuminati, this shit will come and fuck with your head, because the original Martin Luther was the priest, the theologist.
He went against the church.
Yes, he went against the church, the Protestant.
These bogus taxes. This shit ain't even in the Bible. He was trying to be a man of God, from what I understand, and he was willing to die, and I believe he did die for actually saying that the people who was running the word of God, so to speak, the Pope and this and that, were not people of God. They were stealing people money. They were stealing from poor people. They wasn't feeding the people. They like tithes is consistent of food and basically what you get in the mosque. And I hate to put my personal beliefs in it because I'm not a religious person. I'm more of a spiritual person. But like what you get in the mosque is what you are expected to get from tithes, what you say in the Bible. That's what you get: food, shelter, a place to bathe. That's mandatory from your religion. You see what I'm saying as far as tithe. But when they talking about tithes is this collection plate going around 6 or 7 times, you really going against the same laws that you practicing when you going in the leagues, down to the finest definition of what the word means.
Hey, Darrell, to support what you're saying, we can add a little biblical scripture. In the Bible, and I'm not religious either, but I do enjoy Bible stories because I genuinely believe, whether you're looking at Bible, Quran, or Torah, some of the best stories in the world are in those books. And I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say about it. I believe that the best stories in the world are in those books. Kiwan, we can't hear you, brother. We can't hear you.
No. I was just adding on what you were saying. The Bible, Quran, Torah is just all pieces of the puzzle. You know, everybody got a little piece, and like, give me some of this, and I'm gonna tell it my way to my people, and everybody doing their own little slave and you know, devil worshiping and all in between, with and using the knowledge for the wrong shit and explaining it to kind of entrap people's minds. Like it's just entrapping minds.
Here's my issue with that. The Bible says, me, Bruce, and Kiwan just sitting together talking about the word of God. That is the definition of church. It don't have shit to do with going to kick it with this nigga who want to ask you for 10% of what you make. It don't have shit to do with this bitch ass nigga. Fuck dude. Fuck your pastor. Your pastor can eat a dick as far as I'm concerned, because
that's actually what Martin Luther King died for. Not Michael Luther King, but the original Martin Luther King from, I believe, like the fucking AD era. This guy's like, I think 1200s or some shit like that. But they killed him because he said that 10% shit was bull. They killed him.
Martin Luther, not Martin Luther King. He's talking about Martin Luther.
Yeah, Martin Luther, my fault. Yeah, Martin Luther. And when they killed him, they obviously set the precedent of, you know, if you're not giving up the money, you know, we will kill you. You know, we'll burn you, we'll set you on fire, we'll hang you. You know what I'm saying? They did that for hundreds of years. They still do it today. You know, 100 years ago, they called it lynching. Nowadays, they call it suicide.
Do you guys think that we could effectively change the system without changing the minds of our people?
No, we gotta show our people. We gotta show our people. We ain't gonna change no minds without the application. Right now, we got all the people we need, brother.
Wait, hold on, wait.
It ain't no more. It ain't.
Because he started like he asking a specific question. I'm trying to explain, like, at least to my knowledge. I ain't trying to cut you off. My fault. I want you to get your answer. Like you said, you're going into how we got to change their mind. What he's asking is that like necessary? And it's definitely necessary. Without changing the mind, this is an impossible process because as the brother was breaking down, the 3-step process starts in your mind. Before you speak it, before you act on it, it starts in the mind. So if you can't change the way you think, you're working off corruption from the beginning.
Are you working off the word? Because the Bible say the word came first. When ain't no motherfucking way, when the thought come before the word all the time. You know what I'm saying? Thought, word, action. So the Bible automatically just alleviate one of the degrees. So you cannot progress effectively. And it's basically based off what you just said. You have to change the minds. But how you change minds with our people right now, it's the Aquarian age. And the Aquarian age is show me. Prove it. Do it. You know what I'm saying? Information age. The age of information.
Come on. For the very spiritual people. When he says the age of Aquarius is the show me age, what he means is this is the point in time where all your goddamn lies are fucking irrelevant. Show me where what you're saying is true. Otherwise, eat a fucking dick, bitch.
Simple as that. Absolutely. And that's pretty much where, and this older cat, he heard us chopping it up and he was like, man, y'all not easy to fool. This generation is not easy to fool. We kind of, he was a member of the Nation of Islam. He kind of brought his kids, they came up decent and he got some connections. I actually need to call him because I got some older brothers that's really with the program, dog. And it's like, that's what this shit about too, bridging that gap. I got a bunch of the little homies, they just gonna ride just because they ain't finna do all this shit, but motherfucking older motherfuckers who know, motherfuckers in all our age bracket, we gonna bridge a real crazy gap that ain't been bridged before in the history and ain't gonna be wielding the type of weapons that we wielding when you talk about this international law and what it means to be indigenous to America.
It's about uniting tribes. We are tribalistic people by nature.
Absolutely.
And they've divided us in so many ways that we forgot that we are tribalistic. I don't got to be in the same tribe as Boots. I don't got to be in the same tribe as Kiwan. I don't got to be in the same tribe as Isaiah. But we can still progress, do business, trade, and develop as tribalistic people to make
the way we were doing before pre-colonization. That's what we did before pre-colonization.
Hold on one
Absolutely.
second. To your point, I want to ask a question. Because I agree with what you're saying, but we also have people like Ide who are Caucasian on the podcast, right? We're sitting here and we're talking about indigenous peoples, and to a Caucasian person, it may seem like, okay, well, these niggas talking all this shit, but where does that leave us? And what I would like to say for any of the listeners who may be Caucasian people who have to have these questions, because I would have this question. This is not about indigenous versus fucking foreign. This is not about
everybody indigenous to somewhere though.
That's what I was about to say. Like, it's not, we only put it in the context of America because we live here.
Because we live here.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm indigenous to where my family come from. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not worried. Like, I hope, I don't even want to say
you could use the same declaration. You could use the same declaration over in your country where your people are indigenous too. Right. Trace your birth records and that'll open up an international line. You will have shares.
Can I ask you a question? Like, how does someone like figure out where do I stem from? Like, where is my lineage from? Maybe I can trace it back.
That, bro. Hold on, wait.
That's the
It's a
question
choice.
that all Black Americans are asking of themselves.
I'm asking that shit too. I only know so many generations back. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
a legal choice, bro. So if you want to abide by just being Bosnian, with like bro said, whatever your grandma told you tribal is, they have to honor that. If you want to switch it, they also have to honor that. If you want to say, I trace my roots and my people came from fucking Africa, they have to honor you as an African American here, because that's what it's legal law.
Okay.
Legal, it's law. It's not legal. Legal is some bullshit.
So how do I do this? I go fill out a paper. Like
no, birth records, bro. Get birth records. Get the names of as many people as you can. Find their birth records. Find where they were born. Find who they came from. Keep digging. Keep digging. Use all these resources that you have on the internet to fucking not necessarily ancestry, but like to dig birth records. Just see where your people come from.
Try to stay away from DNA. Don't let a nigga take your blood and tell you that they tested some bones under a rock.
I'm not with that. I'm not. Yeah.
Because that's wild as hell. But as far as the written record goes, they can't lie about what was documented. That was there. You see what I'm saying? So once you can present that, that's as close to accurate as any government has to accept. You say, listen, based off my records, this is your genealogy, you as the government, whichever it may be in which you live, have to honor this. This is world law. This isn't just America. This is wherever you at. They have to honor that.
Right.
Facts.
Right, well,
all facts.
I fucking love you guys. I think that this is a beautiful build that we're doing right now. I think that Bruce's hat is too small. I think a lot of different things right now. I just like to talk shit. But outside of my love for talking shit, what I really will say is there's so many things that is difficult for our people. And when I say our people, I don't mean white, I don't mean black, I don't mean these color codes. What I mean is like-minded people. That there's so many things that's difficult. Just think about this for 1 second. They do ancestry DNA, 23andMe, all this other goofy ass shit. But if you ever actually listen to the scientists who know this science talk about it, they have you sign a waiver because they know that it's a joke. It's not like, think about this. If all the black people in America came from Africa, and the congressional records say that only 350,000 people came from Africa, 64% of which were men, another 20% of which were boys, meaning that only like fucking 15, 20% were female. How the fuck did we get 41 million black people today? Show me the math.
You know, it was another thing too, bro.
Show me the math.
You know what was another thing too? In 1808, they banned international slaves, the Atlantic, like trading slaves over the waters, maritime. They banned it. That was it was only from 1619 to 1808. You know what I'm saying? And it was like they brought, they say Europeans brought famine, war, disease, murder, all these things that depleted the population. Zionists.
No, but they say Europeans, but it was really the Zionists.
When we say Europeans, we know the ones we're talking about. When we say these
nigga like I don't count, nigga. They fuck you over.
No. Yeah, absolutely. But it's just but I forgot where the hell I was at.
We were talking about the slave trade, and
they banned it. So they had 1619, 1808. That's about fucking 111 years or some shit like that. So you telling me? And after that, the slave count kept rising. The slave population continued to rise, and it like was tripling and quadrupling. Why? Because they figured out how to swindle the natives out of their motherfucking shit and enslave them with other treaties and acts that subsequented the 1808 violence. Like I said, 1808, they stopped the transatlantic slave trade. 1830, Indian Removal Act. You know what I'm saying? 1831, here go Chicago. They go another city and state. You know what I'm saying? Here go Cook County. Here go, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling
the technological inaccuracies is just off. They didn't even. It took them 200 years to get established over here. If they came in 1500 and they didn't start, you know, what was this, from 16, you say 1619 to 18, some shit is when they, you know, really
1808.
adapted to slavery shit. They still was hanging bitches, Salem witch trials, and eating motherfuckers. They were fucked up. White people didn't come here and just inherit mansions, and this shit had to get built and built. Like the shit that was already here had to get reconstructed. And they didn't have time to just be massa. It was shit that had to get done. I think a lot of people overlook the fact that like picking cotton wouldn't have got you far in America with no electricity, no streets, no fucking medicine, no this, no that. Like it was a lot of like function, like work that had to be done to establish America before you could think about, oh, I just got slaves picking cotton type shit. Like that's an unrealistic concept that people got to kind of just, you know, sway out of that thinking. We talking about changing people's minds. If you think you was picking cotton for 400 years, then you don't think shit of your people from the beginning.
Bro, America only been established for 244 goddamn years. The United States of America, the corporation, for 244 years. They ain't even been over here longer than the Moors was in fucking Europe. You know what I'm saying? That's when people say we've been enslaved for 400 years. Nigga, we only been fucking dealing for 400 or 500 fucking years. What the fuck y'all talking about? Like what 400 year period y'all talking about?
The Spaniards was coming into South America, which they don't even teach us in American school and shit. They had hundreds of years of that. They was mixed Latino, black motherfuckers. They didn't have a concept of white and black. It was if you were up or down. You know what I'm saying?
Because they intermingle. They intermingle. They married each other's kids off. They swap women. And you talk about the forbidden fruit in the Bible. This is where that concept comes from, because some women became, or whether they were given or they just got, you know what I'm saying, or it was consensual. When it was consensual, and we ain't even gonna talk about rape and shit. When it was consensual, and those women bore the children of men who eventually enslaved the women's family and the native men. You know what I'm saying? And they took over. When you think about that on the tribalistic standpoint, you think about lions and how they operate. When lions have children, when the sons get too old, they kick their little ass out the pride. You know what I'm saying? And they gotta go on and when they get older, they go and take over another pride, maybe the same pride, and they go fucking kill their dads and uncles and shit. And whatever kids there, they kill their ass too. They annihilate all the kids. Like that's some lions actually do this shit. If they take over the tribe, they kill all the fucking kids of the men who they just murdered, and they repopulate. You know what I'm saying? With the women, and the women just go along with it.
The Lion King.
Absolutely, yeah. That's basically the Lion King was conceptualizing some shit on the micro that's actually happened on the macro, and we similar to all living organisms on the earth in the way we live. We a culmination of all ways of life. Like I said, we got shit in common with plants. We got a lot in common with fucking cats and monkeys and all that shit. Not to say we fucking cousins or related or not anything like that, but maybe we are. Who the fuck knows? But what I do know is we the supreme manifestation of all creations and, you know what I mean, living organisms on this planet.
You just fucked up my childhood. I just realized God came and killed all the niggas. It wasn't not a motherfucker lying around, but Simba. When he came back, it was all female line. That shit. He was having motherfuckers sing songs and bring them peanuts and shit. Scott had it made.
That was Scott trying to get over. He was overtaken by jealousy. That's another reason, man. It's a lot of this shit, man. We got so many origins.
All right, guys, look. Is there any topics that we haven't hit on tonight that we need to hit on? Because I know you want to talk about your light-skinned guy.
No, I think I'm good. We don't got to talk about that no more neither, bro. I think we got it. We understand what's going on.
Drake and his bullshit fucking pussy ass music. So
Every
I agree
time.
with you there.
Every time, you know, you bring it up like I want to talk about it, but really you just hate on me when you want to talk about him. Hey,
I got something I want to touch on before.
How much does it bother you that he just went number 1, 2, and 3 on the charts?
Wow.
Huh?
Not at all when Kanye is the truth.
Oh, I don't understand what that has to do with what I'm talking about.
Man, Drake gonna get his shit played, man. Drake real connected.
Yeah.
Drake real connected, and a lot of that shit.
Man, Key White, before we hang up on this note, like, cause y'all just click something to me, man. This is the understanding of fiat is not real, man. You understand what I'm saying?
Ain't no such thing.
You know, when you start capitalizing how good or bad somebody is, like, you start really thinking of how much, like, people, because you putting a price on shit. When I was trying to explain some of this shit to somebody, what we were just talking about, the cycles of life and how they control us, they're like, so it's really just about money. And I'm like, bro, they print the money. People say we print money, but the niggas that control this shit really print money, and they use the money to control us. They don't do it for money. They use the money to control. It's an object of control. And when they keep asking why and how, I'm like, man, you underestimate absolute control. When a person take away your ethnicity, your God, your truth, they gotta replace that shit with something, and it costs money. But to a person that know money ain't real, it's gonna cost power. So they give you a little bit of power to take away all your shit. You see what I'm saying? And that's really the concept of, like, what we're dealing with on a bigger scale. Like, you know, like, money don't really determine, you know what I mean, up or down, good or bad. It's an object of control.
It don't determine smart or dumb either, because people like to assume that all the smart people are rich and all the broke people are dumb, and you know what I'm saying, and measure that type of deal off of whatever worth you have, and that shit just completely obsolete. That's why I don't expect people be like, oh, why ain't rich people talking about it? Because a lot of these motherfuckers are contracted. They even made Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving was saying indigenous at first. This nigga not saying that no more. But he writing all these cryptic tweets.
The earth was flat and they made him ease off that shit too.
Yes, but he was making these cryptic tweets talking about y'all been lying and distorting history and lying to God's people, and they coming back. They coming with a vengeance, and it's going to restore some order all over the planet. You know what I'm saying? It's some order in the planet that's about to be restored, and the timing for it also is coming up with the sun coming above equinoxes and all this shit. See, it's all about timing as well, and all this shit is welling up because gestation. New life is about to be born. You know what I'm saying? New life about to be born, and that's what springtime. That's the sun springing back. You know what I'm saying? And taking back control over darkness. This is a seasonal, this is a yearly, an annual occurrence, you know, with the season changes and shit. So a lot of this shit derived from just having the right time,
Yep.
All of it.
Every year, it's
right.
a cycle.
You're right, Kiwan, because Laos New Year's is first week of April. My fault. Let me go outside real quick. So Laos New Year's is the second week of April. It happens because we're celebrating a parade. We're having a parade where we had this three-headed king. You know, he was causing famine. He was causing havoc all over the world and everything like that. To my knowledge of how the story was told to me, and when I was in a temple with a bunch of monks, that this three-headed king was on a 7-story palace, okay, and he was just it was just hell all over until Mother Teresa, we call her Nang Talani, she wrung out her hair, okay, to drown, to clean up everything, just like Noah's Ark, okay. I went to Catholic school for 3 years too, and it kind of tripped me out, you know, when I heard all this. So she was just basically, she washed all the will, and then, you know, now we celebrate. His head got cut off because he couldn't drown, and then the people overcame him and whatnot, and why his head is on a platter and being, you know, celebrated through in the springtime because it's a renewal time.
Yes, sir. And I've been into like all the other cultures. I like to look for consistency and collaboration. Cooperation and consistency without collaboration. So if one nation over here is talking about something, one nation over here talking about something, and they kind of in sync, and it's like, hold on, Joe, what the fuck? Like all this shit kind of, like everybody must got some, and everybody's really do. And I'll say that to say, I forget one of those cultures, especially over going back, I was looking into the Turtle Island stuff and all the concepts, and what the turtles mean. I think it was in either Japanese or Chinese culture, one of the East Coast cultures, who coveted the turtle with the same meanings as our people did. But you go to Egypt, okay, and you look in the tombs and shit, and the turtle represented Set. You know what I'm saying? The turtle actually represented Set. I forget which Asian culture it was. I don't know if it's Chinese or Japanese. It was one of them. But everything I looked on that involved turtle symbolism from you know, that part of the world and this part of the world were real similar. But when you go to Africa, a lot of our concepts are flipped and kind of demonized and shit, just like snakes and serpents, and people confuse serpent with snake when a serpent is just like a creeping thing, a shadow. It could be anything. And serpents are actually the reptiles, especially. There's a saying that goes, be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. And, you know, serpent, you know, you look at a cobra and the way they're able to concentrate, and, you know, they represent that Kundalini type energy with the alignment of the spines and all that old good old stuff that, you know, that we like to get into. And just going, you know, going over consistencies and what I'm saying, also saying that to say that I look to the you know, the Asian cultures. You're gonna find a lot of signs and symbols that are consistent with the ones that are found in ancient American concepts. Like I said, old Mex, Turtle Island, all that old good stuff.
That's the whole point of that's the whole point of the Chinese zodiac. It's almost, you know, it's the Asian, you know, it is the Asian version of the horoscope. You know what I'm saying? And you know, to Asians, it's like you have an animal spirit. You know, you have an animal spirit somehow, some way. You're tethered. Everyone's tethered somehow, some way.
Ooh,
you're connected. You're connected every way. You know, no matter what, and in every way. It's. I have this thing where it's like I have ESP sometimes with some people. You know, extrasensory perception. It's just like, wait a minute, I was just thinking about you. Boom, I get a phone call. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I've been chilling with Isaiah so much. It's just like, hey, you know, before I, you know, it's like, hey, you might have forgot something at the crib. You know, before I come to the studio, you need me to scoop it up real quick, type stuff. You know what I mean? Like you when you hang around with, you know, when you're around certain people, or when you're around people or whoever you're around so much, you tether together. You feed off each other.
You pick up off of each other's habits, and you pick up off of each other's energies, and like
thank you.
You know how to assist that person when they might need it, or just like to lighten their load a little bit, you know. And then when we all that's how we succeed, right? Like it doesn't all fall on one man. It does not fall on one woman.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
No,
but that whole portion of what you were talking about, springtime, you know, and why the sunlight's coming out more because the time moved up ahead, which I think is stupid when it falls back. You know, the sunlight is you know, man, is king. As of right now, you know.
And I was just sun gazing a couple hours ago, watching the sunset. That's the best time to really get it, because you can actually see the shape of the sun. And another way to do it is you take a potato chip bag, you split it, open it up, and like put it. I don't give a fuck how bright the sun is. Put the potato chip bag up to it, nigga. You gonna see that motherfucking little circle so goddamn perfect. And a lot of the times you can see the sun and the moon in the sky at the same goddamn time, bro.
So what? It's like a prism. It's like a prism reflection because of it's bouncing out the aluminum. Bouncing
the potato chip. I guess so. I actually stumbled upon on some accidental shit, fucking being a pig licking the bag and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I looked up, and I'm like, damn, you can see the whole sun. And I used to be trying to get it, and it's like hurting my eyes and shit. But when you do it like that, and if you watching it come up and watching it set is real kind of healthy for the eyes. And like, you know what I'm saying?
I seen it set in California when I was out, you know, when I was on Venice Beach, that whole strip. And bro, people literally stopped. They stopped what they were doing. The sun was setting and they just kicked it and just chilled. That's when I realized, I was like, this is what they're talking about with California chilling. I sat in the sand for a good 2 hours just watching the sunset.
It's set in the west. They got the best sun over there.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
That's
it was
the closest you
a
get to it before it come around. Hey, but look, that duality, that negative positive duality in life is what they try to steer you away from. So, like when you say they switch a lot of our beliefs that we share here in Asia, because we're fucking touching noses, we're close as hell. They just don't show that side of the map. But like they switch it around in Africa and demonize it because they don't want you to see the value of both energies. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not so much that it's wrong because they flipped it over there. It's just they're using it in a negative light. It's still something you have to understand and can get a conceptual grasp with in order to know what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, you know, it's crazy. Like, you got to have that yin and that yang, right? Like, you got to have both dualities of life to play their part. They balance each other out. But Dave, I wanted to ask you, man, like I don't know if you guys touched on this already, but like all the hate that's been happening with Asian Americans, if you want to call them that.
I was just about to bring that up, brother. I was just about to bring that up.
Hey, why do you think that's happening right now? I don't understand the motive.
Bro, the way they're saying it is because COVID came from China. It started. The first case is out in Wuhan. It was released out in Wuhan, and it's boggling, bro. I don't understand it. And there's been a bunch of
Ilian.
It came out of Wuhan, but it was American scientists. Like we gotta realize
exactly
operations to China, so now they can fucking shift blame on each other.
Hold on, let me put on my jacket. I got blood roll.
Is where they created it before the outbreak in fucking Wuhan. It's goofy as hell.
Yes, exactly. But as social media, as the news, and I watch WGN almost every day whenever I can because that's just my channel because I love Tom Skilling. Because I love Tom Skilling because he's just a weather predictor. All right, they're predicting the weather.
Everybody fuck with Tom Skilling, fat ass.
Right.
Well, he ain't fat no more.
You know what I'm saying? But besides the point, like it's mind-boggling because where my cousin lives down in Georgia, this white boy came in and lit up the place and killed 8 ladies, bro. This is an Asian salon. Strictly like you in the demographic of nail techs, foot massage, back massage. Who has the most shops out there, bro? Asians. Asians, bro. I guarantee you go into a nail shop, you're gonna see a Vietnamese person. And if it's any other culture or any other race, I guarantee.
But we know why we see specific cultures and specific fields, just like we see the Chinese, the Asian, the Arab. That's because they're getting grants to come over here and open their businesses on certain parts of the geography to serve and middleman what's going on. And this ain't, I ain't saying justifying all that shit, but I'm saying I think they fucking promoting this because they spraying all this little shit up in the skies, bro. That shit falling. Everybody's temperaments are flaring. People are fucking getting triggered to do weird shit. Just this morning, one of my buddies, he's a twin. Okay, he shot his fucking girlfriend 3 times and then shot himself, bro. I promise you, there is something in the air, dude. And they got 4 kids together. This happened this morning, bro, at 3 in the morning. There is something in the air, and this is what makes our motherfucking business so much more important. Because we cannot get caught up in these specifics in these medias, because they fucking our heads up and triggering us to feel ways, and they're tugging at our emotional cords every which way they can. And race is the number fucking one, like one of the strongest cords, because we all so fucking dedicated to all these weak ass social constructs when there are just different tribes of indigenous people. That is it. That is it. Once we can lose these concepts, none of those issues will matter. And we got to understand that some of us, I talked about the 3/5 of a man thing, right? The 5 components, mind, body, spirit, nationality, and creed, okay? After they stripped us of our nationality and creed by displacing us, murder, rummaging, pillaging, all we had was mind, body, and soul. So we were 3/5 of a man. So what they did to adapt or to acclimate us to their system is they made us they made amendments for us, 13th and 14th Amendment citizens, which gave us a synthetic are artificial nationality, which is the United States citizens, black, white, or otherwise, and a synthetic creed, which is the one that these motherfuckers made up, and it's what continues to develop, which is music. We all develop the creed with the shit that they give us. We develop our systems that we work off of. So these are the 5 components, and these 2 are artificial and synthetic. That makes us 40 goddamn % artificially intelligent, bro, because we don't know who the fuck we are. Because those and once we reestablish our own nationality and we reestablish the historic history lines and the royalty in all our bloodlines, none of those races and shit, none of that shit will matter, bro. Because the world's gonna be back restored. All the worlds. This is one world. There are many worlds. You know what I'm saying? And everybody has their own. We all living in one. This is what we got to realize.
And this is becoming a problem because
you muted, Isaiah.
When I woke up in the morning, I'm watching, and you know, I'm subject to this social media, Snapchat, IG, and the first thing I see is some white dude beat up some Asian lady, and it's a Chinese lady. We mind our business. We come over here because we're glad to be over here. I'm thankful that, you know, my sponsors brought my parents and my family over here. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have what I got or be who I am. When I went over to Laos and seen what it was at that time, I'm thinking about what it was 20, 30 years ago when my parents were trying to run out of there. You know, my mom's telling me she's swimming over the river to go hustle food. You know what I'm saying? Like she's.
And would you imagine that while that was happening, it was people that was really suffering the way we've been suffering in America?
It was during the Vietnam War. You know what I'm saying? This is what I was telling you earlier. It was when we were walking around with my dad, and he was showing me his neighborhood and everything, that I seen the USSR flag, the old one, that red with the 4 stars and that halfway pitchfork thing, that old flag. That's what I seen hanging over there, because if it wasn't for Russia, it seems like Laos would have gotten taken over. You know, because like the Americans were landing in portions of Laos because we're bordered to Vietnam during that time. So I couldn't, like, when I seen the river that my mom said she swam across, I'm like, you kidding me? Bro, it is huge. Like when you look at shit on a map, it's like, oh, it's not. No, bro. Like it's in the backyard of my family's cafe.
Lake
Like,
Michigan looks like you could just
it's
see
called the
across.
it's called the Mekong River. It's called the Mekong River. This river runs from China through through Mongolia, through Laos, through Thailand. It's like a border. Like if you swim over over, you're in Thailand. You're right there. You know what I'm saying? Like it blew me away. It absolutely blew me. Like, and when I came back home, I'm sitting there like I'm culture shocked. I'm back at my crib. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't care to go hang out with my friends. I just wanted to stay with my mom and dad at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like my sister couldn't go, but like I was stuck. Not stuck at the house. I wanted to be at the house. Like I I'm like relaying how much they, you know, went through and what, you know, and what they provided me and what, you know, and why I'm wondering, like, why am they're you know, Asian people are getting attacked right now like this. It's insane, bro.
Bro, I don't get it. The fact that like I know what it's like to like have immigrant parents, you know, all of that, like just that whole immigrant struggle is crazy for them to be here and then experience some hate for what, bro? Like Kiwan was saying, bro, like that shit was an American owned lab. That shit was the
exactly, bro.
The
That's what I'm
virus
saying.
itself is patented by the USA. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
but people don't see that. It's like spreading a rumor, bro. You know
but
what I'm saying?
if
Once
that
a
is
rumor is
truly,
spread out, people are
I
gonna
say,
think, oh damn, that's what they're doing. Oh damn, that's what that hoe do. You know what I'm saying? Like once
but that's what I'm
a
saying, bro.
rumor
Like
is, you know what I'm saying?
it's unjust and not fair to put that blame on Asian Americans, right? People,
yeah.
Asian people that live here.
Hey, something I wanted to add, not to cut you off, is like, all right, every time we have like a change in presidency or, you know, just we can go back to the Bush era, like they did 9/11 and they put all this blame on the
Exactly.
Arab and Muslim community. You know what I'm saying? They
Oh.
try to find a way to divide us
Yeah.
through like every presidency, every disease or whatever. Like they try to find a way to attack
We
us
have
as
to
a unit.
refuse war.
I mentioned that.
Always
We have to
have to
refuse
refuse
like
war.
this is like the next 9/11
Because
right now.
when war is declared, that gives the president power because he is the leader of the military, and that disrupts the republic, which is what we are part of now.
Did Trump ever go to war with anybody?
No,
The
that motherfucker
first
made
one.
peace with everybody.
He the only president in the last
This
4 or
nigga
5
Biden been in
presidents that
office 2
didn't.
months and he bombing shit.
Exactly. Thank you. Like even with Clinton before he was gonna hop out to office, this man never caused any war until out of nowhere.
No, Clinton
Because of the
did
whole
something
Monica-
worse. Clinton, that's because Clinton declared war on the American fucking people with those crime bills and shit. Them motherfuckers are treasonous too. They all a part of the fucking agendas. Them motherfuckers, what they did even worse than what Bush did. Bush did it. Nobody knew why we went to war with Iraq. Bush was retaliating. You know, they had the man. The presidency actually was over after Bill Clinton.
Oh, when that recount happened in Florida, and once I heard Jeb Bush is a senator of that fucking state, I'm like, oh, it's done for, bro. Dole's done. Not Dole. What the fuck was his name? The
Al Gore.
It was Bush and Gore. I'm like, Gore's done for. I was like, this recount? I go, Bush Jr. is gonna go in. He's gonna back up fucking. He's gonna finish up what his father was doing in Desert Storm, and sure enough, that happened. I mean, it's just.
And you know they was they was a part of Hitler's team. Another fucked up thing America did when they brought up all 180 fucking Nazi scientists after the fucking World War II.
Hold on, Q1. I don't want
Oh
you to
no, we can't delve into that.
This is a big thing.
We
that
ain't
I talk
delving
about
into
very
that,
frequently when we're
Q1.
talking about. Hold on,
That
Q1.
shit matters. It matters into where we at right now.
It does matter. And
That's a
why I
different
don't want
subject,
you
bro.
to shortchange the numbers. Hold on, David. It was
Yes.
over 1,000 Nazi scientists plus their families. That means their wives and children. They made them all American citizens during Operation Paperclip.
They patriated them, yep.
Operation
Nigga, it was 160 something thousand of their ass.
Hey Isaiah, you look like ET.
I'm gonna get the exact number. I'm gonna get the exact number.
So if you look for the number, they're gonna tell you it was just 1,000. But here's why that's important. If you watch the show on Amazon Prime, The Boys, or if you watch Hunters, in all these TV
The
shows,
American.
Look, bro, fuck it. Go to Marvel. Captain America, Winter Soldier. What was the whole movie about? His boy Bucky was a fucking Nazi scientist experiment. He was an MK Ultra fucking agent.
Operation Paperclip.
That is what Bucky was. An MK Ultra.
Oh, it says 1,600.
Yeah,
A
right.
successful one
that's
too.
what I
At
said.
that.
Over 1,000 plus their families. So we're talking no less than fucking. Let's say that everybody got a wife and kid. We're talking no less than fucking 4,800 people. Nazis. You know what people like to say? No, those were the good Nazis. What the fuck do you mean, good Nazis?
What?
That's what people say.
Well,
that's the
oxymoron.
You can't, we can't. I'm gonna take that one back. Yeah,
I gotta wrap up, man.
Then
Y'all,
again,
y'all
it's
have a good night. This is a good one, Joe.
We definitely all
Bruce,
gotta
be
bounce,
safe.
right? Quite a few of
for
us
sure.
got
For
up
sure.
out of here. We all gotta bounce. Let's
Peace,
go ahead and
bro.
put a wrap on this, Kiwan. You are a fucking phenomenal addition to this podcast. The way that you fucking bring in the information that we
Facts.
otherwise would be talking about, but segment differently. I very much appreciate you being in here, sir. I can't wait until we start getting your content off the ground. I'm sure that
Man, I
your
appreciate y'all for
podcast-
sure.
I'm sure that your podcast is gonna fucking take off because the best content that I ever do is conspiracy content and occult history. And that's the only thing that you talk about is occult history. And occult doesn't mean conspiracy. Occult means untold, untrue,
Secret.
hidden, not untrue.
Secret. Yep, hidden.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Appreciate you today, man. But I gotta rotate. Y'all have a good night, man.
Love, bro.
Much love.
Peace.
Yeah.
Peace.
Bruce, be
All right,
safe. Matt Behar.
Be
I
safe. Be
appreciate
safe.
you. I appreciate the way you come on the platform and teach about Kangen water.
I appreciate the way that you sat in the background and just added what you had to add. Matt, for the people who want to know anything about Kangen Water, could you please tell them where to find you and where to find out more information about Kangen Water after they check out our podcast that we did together?
My business Instagram is my main resource for it. It's called Waters of Inspiration, one word. And
Mobile Minds Podcast Network, you could go to MMPN 3 underscores on Instagram and then type in water and it will pop up there because we follow Waters of Inspiration on Instagram.
that too. And I appreciate you, Isaiah.
Much
and all of you
appreciated
too.
to you, sir.
Peace, peace, Mark, Matt. I see
Hey,
Matt,
man.
Mark. Peace, Gucci, Darrell. Man, love Joe. All of y'all, bro.
We definitely got to,
Joe.
man, put these bars together, man.
We making history. We about to record history, bro.
We are making
We
a mark
about to
in this
record
world.
history. Mobile Minds. Peace, bro. Peace.
Later.
See you guys.
Some fucking food with
Stop
my
the
wife,
Asian hate.
my
Stop the
smelly
Asian
sister-in-law.
Stop hurting my people.
Appreciate you, brothers. You guys have a good night. David,
Be safe, be safe.
safe tonight. Close up properly. Appreciate you
course.
guys. Have a phenomenal evening.
Be safe.
See you ladies tomorrow. Hey, don't forget to cut off the live stream when you get downstairs because it's still gonna be going.
Yeah, I think it's
I'm
just
about to
only
go do
us,
that right now, bro.
Go cut it off right now, bro. It's just us three
All
anyways.
right, ladies.
Be safe. Why can't I leave? There you go. I'm trying to leave. I can't even leave, bro.